to escape. Will set your mood. When you're walking on the moon. Walking on the moon. Walking on the moon. Chase your happy place. change your groove. When you're dancing on the moon, dancing on the moon. When we dance again, all our troubles seems to fade away. This is how I feel when you take me to some levels that I've never been. When we dance again, all our troubles seems to fade away. This is how I feel when you take me to some places that I've never been. When we dance again, that I've never been, that I've never been, that I've never, ever, never, ever, never been. Walking on the moon. One moment to say, when you're walking on the moon, walking on the moon, taste your happy place. It will change your groove when you're dancing on the moon, dancing on the moon. When we dance again, all our troubles seems to fade away. This is how I feel when you take me to some levels that I've never been. When we dance again, all our troubles seems to fade away. This is how I feel when you take me to some places that I've never been. When we dance that I've never been, that I've never been, that I've never been.
Can you feel it? The fire in your soul, leaping at the chance for love. Can you feel it? Haunting your senses, letting all your feelings go. But I can feel it rushing through my veins. Your love's the only drug I know. But we've been playing the hand now we're dead, so we can light it up. I know that we can make it through the night, but I can feel the fire inside, so there won't be no fear tonight.
Ladies and gentlemen, a very warm good morning to you and welcome to the European Rocket League Rival Series. We're here on week number 1 and my name is Lottie Van Praag and I'm going to be desk hosting all throughout the weeks of this amazing Rival Series. Now, I'm not alone on this beautiful shiny desk here at Rival Series. I actually have 2 of my friends with me and looking very dapper as well this morning, gentlemen.
I mean, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Except for the fact that Turtle said he didn't snip the things on the back.
Oh,
of the
yeah.
jacket.
I'm unprepared. Unprepared. My bad.
Have it all. You can't have it all.
don't
It's
worry.
hard. It's difficult. You know, I normally don't even wear suits. This is all the time. Before we even started, I never even owned a suit. Now I'm here.
Before RLCS and Rival Series, it was just those EBZ T-shirts.
It was
all the
just
time.
sweatpants constantly.
Look, you have to make those adult purchases
Yeah.
at some point, and
Yeah.
I'm very glad you've made it because you
Thank
do
you.
look fabulous. Turtle, James, it was so lovely to have you here on the desk. I'm so excited. It's my first time here at Rival Series, and actually, I think it's your first time as well.
Yes, we're all new.
Yeah.
We're all newbies here. years. So, but it's been awesome getting to meet you over the course of the weekend. Rocket League, we're in for a treat. This is going to be a fun season, not only because Lottie's joining us, but we have so many awesome changes too.
Yeah.
We do have a lot of awesome changes, and one that I do want to just quickly talk about as well is obviously that leap and bringing more teams on board. Obviously, we've gone to 10 from 8, and that was a highly requested change, I think, from the community, and to be able to bring that into this rival series is so important.
Yeah, I mean, it's massive. I mean, Turtle, you can talk about it. You played in the rival series, so expanding that, giving more opportunity is huge.
I mean, it was terrifying playing in the rival series because you had to perform in league play and you had to come top 2. You had no safety net at all, and now it's basically you just want to make that top 4, get into that tournament, and make the new format. And now rival series even has so much more of an impact because technically there can be 4 out of 10 teams affecting RLCS and actually making it in there. So the impact that we have in rival series is huge.
And now we have mugs as well. So
yeah, that's the best thing right now too. Yeah,
we do indeed. These are absolutely gorgeous. Like, look at this, Rocket League.
We've been asking for those for a while. We finally,
now we're hydrated. We're ready to go.
Hydrated. That's important.
Gentlemen, actually, our morning is beginning here, but it wasn't actually the case for some of our teams. They've actually already been playing. They don't slack off here in rival series. They actually have already been battling out. As you can see on your screens right now, we have our standings. So they've actually already been playing a few matches. We've had EU, RCD beat Vertex 3-1. RCD lost to Fadeaway 0-3. Fadeaway looking really strong, actually. 2 games 4-0 already. And Underwater beat Echo Zulu 3-2. So Europe already looking pretty formidable as well.
Yeah.
Turtle.
I mean, everybody is looking for these RLCS players that come down. We've got people like Tadpole and iIgnite on Fadeaway. iIgnite's the only one on Fadeaway right now, but he has that RLCS experience. He's coming straight from TSM, and the determination is there to make it all the way back into RLCS.
Absolutely, and Tadpole's actually a method, man. You had a word bumble.
I'm sorry. It was
but it's
confusing.
T-Gray. It's a different T.
Yeah.
But yeah, we were talking about this exact team during the break. T-Gray also had that big dream hack, and the previous RLCS experience going to be so huge. And then Extra also was with T-Gray when they did have that great DreamHack Montreal run. So a lot of expectations on them and a lot of drama. Even Tadpole, the reason he's probably in your head is because of how much drama.
He's scary, man. That whole team situation just crumbled down, but it's great to see him, still committed to the game and still determined, because the rival series, you're still one step away. These players have earned their spot. They've worked so hard, and now they're in what I would call a scouting phase for Rocket League. If you're an avid Rocket League viewer and you're watching the rival series, it's basically scouting to see who are the best players, who's going to come out of the rival series. People like Justin in Chicago have done it, and who's going to make a run for that top tier position.
Sometimes it's about the mental attitude as well. Having a little bit of drama may not be the worst news, actually, because it might set a little bit of a fire underneath these players. We could be seeing some play up to a little bit of a higher level here, so we'll have to wait and see. But let's take a look at our format right now, and let's see exactly what we're going to be doing throughout this tournament, because of course, gentlemen, another really exciting piece of information we would like to share is, of course, there are spots available into the RLCS, and we actually have 2 chances for our top 4 teams to get there. That is so crucial. This rival series is all about getting into that next division of Rocket League, and it means the world to these guys.
It certainly does. Everyone's dream is to make it to the RLCS. That is when you have made it, you're a pro. You're living the dream. And with this format change, this might be the only time we see auto promotion. We are still waiting to see what next season's going to look like. But if you finish top 2 from the playoffs, and the playoffs is also a new thing. In the past, you just had to finish top 2 in league play. Otherwise, you had no hope. Now, you finish top 4, you have a chance to get in automatically. And you can see it here. This is how they would do it through the bracket. And the seeds 1 and 2, the biggest reason you want to finish top 2 in league play now is so that one of those teams is guaranteed a spot in Season 9. That has never been the case.
Yeah.
And that is why it's going to be so hyped this season. There is so much on the line, and a guaranteed spot. That is the dream for Rival Series.
And I feel like the perspective of how people will, handle the nerves, because like I said before, there's a safety net, but at the same time, now the competition is as close as it can be, because there potentially could be, as long as you make top 4, you can make it into RLCS. Yes. That makes everything so much more tight-knit. Everybody is competing, not just to keep their spot, but to keep going into RLCS.
And the extra lives that Lottie had mentioned, even if you don't get in through the playoffs here, you'll see 2 teams will get automatically in. The 3rd and 4th seeds will play the bottom 2 from RLCS for those 2 RLCS spots. So this is the season to be in the Rival Series. We are in for a treat.
And of course, we have some of the players on these teams who've actually already had a little bit of a taste of the RLCS and probably eager to get back in there. I mean, we know that Tadpole, hopefully, he's going to be doing a little bit more for his team. Rick's Ronde Burrito B coming through there.
Yeah.
They're really hoping that he's going to be a key change for them as well. And as you saw on the screen there, we also have a wonderful prize pool.
Yeah, and the prize pool actually went up by over $15,000 this season. So prize pool increase, team increase, hype increase. We're just moving up.
I mean, I can't wait because I'm,
maybe a few, talent, that's definitely trending upwards as well, I would say.
I mean, welcome to the Rival Series, James.
James, are you talking about yourself?
To be fair, Stacks has been grilling us.
He's been roasting me nonstop this entire time. I can't get off of the grill right now.
We come up here, Stacks giving us the warm welcome. We appreciate it, by the way.
Don't worry, we'll be seeing Stacks later on the desk, and I'll make sure he's in order.
Yeah.
So don't worry about that. Let's take a look at our schedule, though, gentlemen, because we have a really exciting day. It's week number 1. We're in the European section here of the Rival Series, and our match 1 is going to be Discombobulators versus Baguette Squad. As you can see there already, obviously our standings are updated, so the Baguette Squad actually already have 2 wins under their belt. So they're coming in hot here against Discombobulators. Match number 2, Underwater Squad versus Fade Away. Match 3, we've got Discombobulators yet again versus Team Vertex. And match 4, we've got Team Echo Zulu taking on Method. Actually, match 4 for me, I'm really excited about because I really want to see this Method roster step up and see exactly how they perform together, because I really do feel like this is a team for me that could really start performing and coming through as maybe one of the favorites too. Yeah,
I mean, Method, especially now that they have Tadpole joining them. It's a team we've seen in the Gfinity Elite Series, which you're familiar with.
I have seen Rick's Ronde Burrito B. I have seen them a few times before. Fantastic players from Europe, and I'm really excited to see what they can do this season.
Yeah, and now they have Tadpole, who was a player who was being considered even for RLCS teams, but he didn't find a spot in time just because, the whole triple trouble situation was happening very late into the offseason. So that is a team that you have to watch out for, and they haven't played any games yet so far, so they're still at 0-0.
I mean, if you're watching Tadpole as well, it's not only just picking up, a star player from RLCS. He was the team captain, the guy who's leading the comms. If you watched any of the World Championships at the end, you saw Tadpole be vocal, be screaming at his teammates, hyping them up, trying to command them, tell them which way to go, and hopefully now he can start to form that Rival Series team that can go up and even surpass Triple Trouble.
Yeah, and Spurn Pride, like you said, sometimes it can drive you to do great things.
100%.
And he's certainly playing with a chip on his shoulder.
Yeah. Just depends on how you do take these wins and losses and these small things that maybe could affect you mentally as a player, but being able to overcome that pressure, that's what makes the pros the pros. That's exactly what makes you worthy of going to the RLCS, so we will wait and see. Let's have a look at our verses now. Let's see who we actually have match number 1, because this is what we're going to be seeing, gentlemen. We're going to be getting into this one very shortly. Discombobulators versus Baguette Squad. Now, let's just quickly focus on Baguette Squad, because obviously they have 2 wins under their belt already. I mean, Yukis replacing Extra had a wild top 8 run back at DreamHack Montreal, and obviously alongside Tigre, I'm actually going to say it in the Spanish way because why not, who's also now in Fade Away. But huge opportunity for him because, he's never qualified before, so he's really going to be focusing on that spot.
And the reason why they do call it the Baguette Squad is because everybody on that team is actually French. And we've seen it before with BTS at KDOP. He only picked French players when he was the team captain.
French speaking. There was Astro, who's from Belgium.
Yeah, but I mean, as long as you got the French in you, you got to speak it, man. And so that they're comfortable. I feel like that's something that, can't be underlooked because they are all comfortable. It seems like it's a common habit, and being able to communicate in your first language and having that kind of communication, that tight-knit community adds a lot to the roster.
It's like Ferry and KDOP, those guys, I think they did pretty well recently.
Oh,
what was it? First place, the World Championship, something.
I kind of remember that.
They did pretty well. It was cool. But this team, Rijul is my favorite player on that team. I had a chance to check out their series versus Echo Zulu, and he really impressed me. I thought he always was quick to the ball. He sometimes turned a little bit too much in the midfield, but his teammates were looking out for it, and it worked out for them. So he's one of those players who's very hungry for the ball, but if the communication's there, it can work. But Swoopin, is another player to keep an eye on. He had some troubles with shooting, not really getting the most power on his shots, but he still was making plays when he had to.
Yeah.
So Baguette Squad is looking good. And then also Discombobulators, they had a series versus ARG, took them down.
Yeah.
And they also are a threat. I mean, you Baguette squad, we've seen them before, but but Discombobulators, this team, wouldn't be surprised to see them go 2-0 today.
Exactly. It's either a winning or losing sandwich for these guys today. And I had to already get that joke in. It's already early in the morning. Before we get into predictions, though, fellas, I want to ask you a quick question about roster changes because it's something that we see a lot in Rocket League. There's so many changes and swaps happening to try and find the perfect fit for this season. And, of course, like I said before, obviously, Yukis already previously playing against Tigra. What happens when these guys face each other? Their play styles, they know the ins and outs and what they like to do. Does that then affect their game?
I mean, I think there's definitely a lot added to knowing a player you're going up against. If you have, a familiar experience with them, you can kind of tell how they're going to move. But everybody's play style really adapts whenever you get a roster swap. I think, players really come into their own shell or even make a new one when they go to a different team. And their play styles might remain the same. But normally, if you're that new guy coming in, you will change how you play. And it won't be a huge effect, but it might be a little bit more comfortable going up against them and feeling a bit more confident yourself.
Yeah, a lot of times as the new player, you're trying to find where you fit in with the team, but especially at this level, players and series, it all comes down. A lot of times, like I've played you so many times, right? We play against each other. It comes down to the series, those critical moments in the game where do you make that touch? Do you get the power on the shot? Do you place it well? Did your teammate bait you? It's those key moments in Rocket League, which is why Rocket League is so fun. That full 5 minutes, you have to try to be making zero mistakes. Minimize those mistakes. Play perfect. And sometimes if you play too fast, things get out of hand. You miss a demo. It can come down to those defining moments. Just like we saw in London, the ball hitting the corner, that could be the difference between, winning or losing. That makes every series fun to play.
Well, guys, the car's engines have started. We're pretty much ready to go. But before we do, I want to know your predictions on this matchup.
I mean, I think this is a little rivalry starting, between Discombobulators and the Baguette squad. Discombobulators played them last season to try and make the plans to get into the rival series, and they lost to Baguette squad. I think it's going to be the same thing again. I think Baguette squad are going to take it.
Got it. Okay. That's your lunchtime menu happening. What about you, James Bott?
I'm a bread person as well.
Yeah.
I'm not gluten-free.
There you go.
Load me up. Give me the Baguette squad. I got them here. I think Rizual is going to be a key for them, and I look for him to do a lot on the offensive side.
Well, I'm actually going to back Discombobulators. I think Relating Wave, Vert, Nachito. I'm really excited to see what these guys can do. I'm going to have to go with them. So we're going to have to wait and see exactly what happens. Gentlemen, I'm going to hand it over to your capable hands to get this first one away.
Thank you so much, Lottie. And now the fun begins.
James, I'm nervous. I haven't, casted over the rival series ever, and I'm excited because this is where, you can literally see a player develop his skills, perfect it, and then make it to that top level.
Well, it is the path to being, a real solidified pro.
Yeah.
Now Yukis getting denied by Nachito. Yukis towards net. And a touch there from Virtuoso will send that aside. Rizual with the pop is going to go up for it again. And the drop down, and Rizual already making his impact.
This is the player you said to watch out for, James. Rizual, so fast on offense. Nobody even contesting him in the air. So fast to the ball. And like you said, James, the highlight player. Can we, expect that throughout the rest of the series from that man himself?
I think you certainly can. Rizual, he was playing very well against Echo Zulu. And already playing very well with Discombobulators. Relating Wave over to Virtuoso, popping that off the ceiling. He's going to go for a shot, and that one denied by Yukis. See how this counterattack shapes up. Rizual not having enough boost to get that in time. Touch from Virtuoso will keep it in the corner. Yukis getting blocked out by Relating Wave. Centers it, and then the clear from Rizual, but good effort from Relating Wave.
I love the corner play right now, especially we're seeing out of Discombobulated. Getting it into that corner, feeding it to the player on the wall, and then trying to backflip into the middle box. Solid teamwork right now we're seeing.
And even that chance for Nachito. We're seeing good pressure from Discombobulators, but they just need to connect on that shot. Nachito Over to Wave. Wave's going to pop it again. Virtuoso up in the air, going for the shot. No, he fakes it. But still, ball floating. Finally cleared by Yukas. Nachito off the wall, out to the middle. Virtuoso challenging for that. Visual off the ceiling and down. Yukas with a bit of a misread, but it still works out for him. He puts it against the ground. Yukas up for Visual off the backward double tap pass, and it goes down to Yukas and Baguette Squad coming out with the 1-2
Visual
punch.
again. Are you kidding me? Look at this. Off the backboard, the double touch, and then to get the angle to bop it down. A great pass from him, and Yukas even better positioning on the field to make that net.
Virtuoso was waiting in net. He's waiting for that hit, and that second tap, that double tap pass, completely frozen. So great
the demo too. Visual is just the star player right now, James. You called it best at the beginning of the series. So far, he seems to be the player who is making that extra effort, moving forward, trying to get a demo, anything to open up an opportunity for his teammates, and also the double touches again, and Yukas. You know, trying to match Visual's mechanical ability right now.
So Nachito's trying to clear that up to Virtuoso, and Yukas says, nah, I'm going to double tap this off the curvature of the ceiling.
I love
That's such a hard read to make.
Just says nah, goes in for it.
I like what you're doing, but I'm going to have to put a stop. Visual. Goes for the shot off the post and out. Swooping. Hasn't had to do much. Yukas and Visual kind of leading the charge. Now Nachito. A miss from Swooping. No, he does get it. Camera switch threw me for a loop there. Virtuoso.
Oh, what a shot.
Net. And that one was going to be saved.
And I think you can really tell the differences between the opportunities both teams are getting. Discombobulated, just trying to force everything at the net. While on the other end, we got Baguette Squad realizing, hey, maybe a shot here isn't the best option. Let me take possession, go forward, and look for a better pass. Discombobulated, you want to see them try and make an opening, do something different other than just put everything on net.
You know, and one of the things they were doing so well against Echo Zulu, or ARG rather, was demos. Virtuoso was getting so many demos against them. They were threatening the keeper. We haven't really seen many demos at all from Discombobulators, which was a key part in their first victory of the season.
I mean, and a lot of these extra plays that you see Baguette Squad doing does come with time, patience, and so much practice. You need to have the vision on the field to see the player, to get a demo like Virtuoso right there, make the extra move. And so far, Baguette Squad are just outmatching them on every aspect.
They certainly are. Their defense holding strong, and we're seeing shot opportunities from Discombobulators. They just haven't had much power or placement. We see that a lot of times in the first game of the series.
Yeah.
Even for Discombobulators, they had a very slow start against ARG. I believe they lost about 5-1. It was not a very close game. But then they brought it back, winning the next 3 games. So perhaps Discombob, a team that needs to start slow, and then we see the long-range goal coming out from Yukas.
Yukas getting the hat trick right now. The instant turnaround. I mean, you can understand Discombobulated trying to throw everything they can upwards. You got to give credit to them to try and push something. They were down 3 goals. You got to throw everything you can. And great, vision from Yukas to see the empty net and finish the series, or excuse me, the game.
Yeah, that's the second time he's done that.
Yeah.
We saw it with the mid pass where he double tapped it off that corner of the ceiling, and then also there the long ranger. Yukas feeling very comfortable with his reads. And Baguette Squad manhandled Discombobulators 4-0 in game 1.
I mean, what a strong showing right here in this first series for Baguette Squad. I mean, they already have so much momentum. They're already up 2-0 after week 1. They're feeling great. And like you said, Visual showing up at the beginning of the game. The mechanical skill, the double taps to get those first 2 goals, and then Yukas coming through with some great finishes.
Yeah, great series from Yukas as well. Though we see that 2-pronged attack. But, Visual definitely kickstarting it. But Yukas, that hat trick there. And he was kind of the bane of the Discombobulators, offensive dream.
Yeah.
You know, so we'll see if Yukis can continue to do that. Look for those passing plays and just cut him off. He did it twice this game and got 2 goals for him.
And we need to see more creativity from discombobulators. You know, go for the demo. Go for some kind of extra play that we want to see. And at what point does it come down to communication? I felt like they were kind of all crumpled up in the same corner a lot of the times. You know, they'd get the ball, they'd instantly lose possession, and then they'd either push up too much or they'd be running back trying to get some kind of rotation in.
Yeah, and we saw them get time in the Baguette squad's half.
Yeah.
Getting shots, or at least shot opportunities. They just weren't really making the most of them. We even saw some passes go across net. Virtuoso had a feels backflip, man, wasn't able to connect on one. And also discobobulators, they had a slow start before. So that was game 1. It's 5-game series, or best of 5 series rather. So we'll see how they answer back. Discobobulators looking to get on the series scoreboard.
And James, you did say that Swoopin was your player who, if he didn't perform, it was going to come down to him to show up, to make these quality touches, and you just weren't seeing that from the series you watched.
Well, I mean, Swoopin, he was a player who I was concerned about his finishing, but so far he hasn't really had to do anything.
Yeah.
Because Yukis and Risual have just been so good together. And also the defense has been rock solid. Swoopin making sure things are held down. Yukis also playing a big part on defense. Baguette squad just working well as a team. And discobobulators, they haven't really been creative enough to put on threats.
Yeah. I mean, if the time does come down to the point where Risual or Yukis can't get these incredible mechanical double touches, how will Swoopin respond? Will he be there with the great positioning, make these mechanical abilities that his teammates can easily do? How will that affect them? And can he carry out the shooting?
Well, even there he had a shot opportunity that just narrowly missed. Wasn't able to connect on the ball. Nachito going for the shot on net. You saw Virtuoso trying to hit Swoopin. But again, perhaps the infield pass might have been an option. Virtuoso just hitting that ball downfield. It looked like he had some intention to pass that over, but didn't get the contact he was looking for. Virtuoso missing that.
Oh, what a touch.
Bump though, but he bumped Ritual right into the save.
That first touch.
Oh, the net's
was beautiful.
open. And that's gotta be disastrous for discobobulators.
I have no idea how this was such a big turnaround. I saw the great opportunity, the first touch from Nachito, and then all of a sudden Swoopin comes through with dribbling from his teammates and great positioning. And just like that, that's how fast it can switch around in Rocket League. If you're not on time and you're not in the right position, even when you get opportunities, it's just going to turn right around on you.
And sometimes you think you're doing the right thing. Like, I believe it was Virtuoso bumps Ritual. He's got no boost. Virtuoso has no boost in the takes. Bumps Ritual. Ritual gets hit into the ball. That kick-started that whole play.
Oh, what a bounce.
Shot opportunity for Yukis. That's going to go high. Swoopin's just going to have to extract. Turning quickly now. Relating wave shot. Virtuoso couldn't get to it. Yukis is there. Now the shot on his own net.
That was a bit risky.
That was a bold back pass.
Yeah, that really was. But thankfully,
that's what he'd be like.
that was almost like a save.
I'm passing it to you, and it,
yeah.
Like, oh, I gotta save it.
But I really love the lack of hesitation right now from Baguette Squad. Even whenever they see a challenge that they know they might not have an interference with, just to keep the positioning and the rotations in, they will go for it anyway to try and get any kind of dunk. And I think that's important. The double touch, ooh, Nachito almost getting it. But like I was saying, no hesitation. You want to keep the rotations going and continuously test.
Yeah, and that was an opportunity there. And, you had a little ooh moment.
Yeah.
Because that was a nice save from Swoopin to deny that backboard. And we saw that player for discobobulators. He had the read. Rizul going to try to dribble this down. Relating wave. Taking it over. And another pop from Rizul in the midfield. Something he really enjoys doing. It's getting those little touches, especially on the opponent's half. But a great infield pass shot. Denied by Yukis. Follow-up from Nachito, and that's going to beat the Baguette Squad defense. Discobobulators tie it up.
I mean, this first shot was so good, but Yukis getting up so quickly, and Nachito following through. Thankfully, you put somebody on target. That just comes down to positioning and being able to continue the rotations going. And Discombobulated fight their way back in this game too.
Yeah, and They are just roaring now. But that was great pressure, and it's what a quality shot can do for you, even if there is defenders in net. And a pinch going back towards net, Nachito is able to get there. But those quality shots like that will put so much pressure on, force people to use boost, force people to get out of position. And even though you don't score that first good shot, that good shot can be what kickstarts scoring chance.
And sometimes even if it's not on net, we see so many times where the shot will go above the net, hit the crossbar, and then it ends up being a perfect pass for the teammate to follow through and an easy cleanup.
Now Nachito waiting to see what Yukis does. A great first touch, going for the double tap ceiling shot. Now Visual is going to send that to the middle. Relating wave with the stop. Yukis is going to take control again. Great first touch shot towards net. Save from Virtuoso. Yukis, excellent ball control.
The reset.
Got his jump back off the ceiling. Pass down to Swoopin. Swoopin out to Yukis, and Yukis denied. Virtuoso over to Nachito. Good pass. The Visual shuts that down and gets another touch into the mid. Swoopin shot opportunity. Going off the backboard, and that double tap denied.
And the defense from Discombobulated this match compared to the first game is a world of a difference. You see the mechanical abilities that Baguette Squad can go, you know, the flip resets going off the ceiling, and yet here comes Discombobulated, always there in position to get the save. This is not what we saw at all game one from their defense.
You're so right. Both teams stepping up in a demo from Virtuoso. Final chance. Visual hits it down, and we have overtime in game two. And Turtle, you were talking about it. Discombobulators shut out game one, game two. They are here to play. Double tap chance.
Here comes
Visual. It's not on target. Swoopin. Getting a touch now. Yukis looking for the pass. He's swooping, coming in. Swoopin wasn't able to commit, but does get this into the corner. Visual popping it up, going for a second touch, bails on it, gets the boost steal. Scary moment, relating waves out of the play. Visual is going to look for Swoopin off the backboard, and Visual going for the challenge. The pressure is on Discombobulators right now to clear this ball.
I mean, look at this defense right now. They are turtled up, but they are not letting up. Here comes Discombobulated trying to get some kind of transition right now. You know, if you keep on defense, you are bound to make a mistake. It's all about how they transition out of the backfield.
Oh, and that shot just off the post and out. A chance for Discombobulators to end the game right there. So this game filled with tension.
The double.
Visual, going for the double tap pass off the backboard. Yukis is there, a weak shot, and that's cleared. Swoopin denying the clear at the midfield. Wave, pass up to Nachito. Nachito off the corner, a miss from Visual. Clear from Yukis. Now a demo. Visual has to get a good hit. Does get a great clear now, a double tap chance, but Yukis just lets Nachito take it. Virtuoso gets that second touch past Visual. Yukis now the next line of defense. Doesn't get the greatest touch. Boost steal from Virtuoso. Relating wave, challenging Swoopin. Yukis. Long clear, double commit. Virtuoso leaves it for relating.
The possession right now is just so kickball. Both teams a little bit hesitant to try and feed any passes into the midfield. It is a bit risky if it can't get predicted and cut off. But right now you need some form of possession, or else Baguette Squad is going to keep hammering down on this Discombobulated defense.
And a good read from Nachito, dunking Swoopin there. Now popping up into the middle, Swoopin getting it over to Visual, who leaves it. Lets Swoopin continue with the play, going for another touch. No, he leaves it for Visual. Pop from Nachito, relating's there. Double commit from Baguette Squad. Visual.
Oh, risky positioning.
Now chance off the backboard, and Visual bails out Yukis. You can see Baguette Squad in a bit of a panic right now, and now this dunk is going to send it over. Nachito to the middle, relating the shot and the save from Visual, but now follow-up from Virtuoso. Swoopin gets that block. Off the ceiling, going down. Relating couldn't get that. And now it's going upfield. Visual pass to Swoopin. Swoopin Visual off the backboard. It's rolling down and Relating gets the pop up. Nachito beat by Yukis off the ceiling. And now a scary moment for Discombobulators. Finally a booming clear towards
the
net.
counterattack.
No one's back. Crossbar down from downtown Relating. Wave breaking the tension.
Shot after shot, Baguette Squad are constantly putting everything they have on net. And yet Discombobulators just hit him with a huge clear to catch them off guard. The patience and the resilience from Discombobulators on defense was so different than game one. I'm completely surprised by that.
What a game that was. Discombobulators, the defense they brought out, and we even saw defense on both ends, but you just saw the amount of saves.
That was crazy.
That was a nuts series. Lots of shots, lots of saves, all coming down to that final overtime, over 3 minutes in, and it was just the perfect shot from Relating Wave. Absolutely hammering that ball.
Yeah. I mean, you can see Baguette Squad, too, get a little bit impatient. They started chasing the ball so much. There were multiple times right before that last clear went in where Baguette Squad was just all three of them clumped together in the same vicinity, same circle, trying to put something in. They were getting frustrated. You know, you go into overtime, it seemed like they had possession almost the entire game, and then all of a sudden you push up too much and you realize nobody's back on defense.
Yeah, and I mean, you know, it's very rare that someone gets that hard of a shot. That perfect
crossbar
place.
Down too.
That was perfect placements from about as deep as you can shoot it. You know, unless you're clearing a ball off the goal line, you can't really have a longer shot than that. That was crazy, and a very fun game to watch.
I mean, well fought too. That was intense the entire time. I was wondering how would these counterattacks play out from Discombobulators, and that was a complete switch around from game one. Let's see if they can do it again in game 3 as this series unfolds.
So Discombobulators, perhaps they're just a team that has slow starts, getting the win in game 2, and now early pressure in game 3. Visual. A big clear from Virtuoso right to Nachito. Now Relating Wave off the backboard. Nachito with the miss, but it's back to Virtuoso, who had a very good shot opportunity that he could not make work.
Nachito looking like he got called off for that shot. I mean, even if so, that shot coming through has got to be on target. That was a perfect opportunity for Discombobulators. And they're going to be feeling that as this game clocks down. And will the defense stay the same? Can they keep that defensive wall that they were so strong with in the previous game?
It's tough to not make mistakes. Especially, you know, in the rival series, you see teams have more of those defensive holes.
Yeah.
But the last game, both teams just set up like brick walls.
And this Baguette Squad has mechanics to hit incredible angles and, you know, so many double touches from Risual.
Now Risual on the dribble. Flicking that up, gets the pass off the backboard out to Swoopin. Swoopin denied by Virtuoso. It looked like it was going to hit crossbar anyway. Yukis with the stop. Nachito throwing in reverse. It's a little slow to that ball as well. Clear across the field. Stopped by Swoopin. Swoopin. Bounce pass. But that one's another big clear. And that was something Yukis was doing so well in game 1, was cutting off those pass attempts and goals. And then we saw Relating Wave do that same thing, you know. And now a chance. If he can get around it, goes for the pass instead. But being able to read those passes, so important. Cutting off plays can mean that, you know, the difference between winning and losing a game. And a beautiful infield pass. Nachito waiting for it, and he smacks it in.
Virtuoso reading Yukis' touch perfectly, getting the corner boost as well, and then making the vision pass to Nachito. That was a fundamental Rocket League play right there. That is what you want to look for in the rival series. Starting out, build this team chemistry and start implementing every single player on the pitch as best as you can.
Absolutely. I mean, you see how infield passes, if you're careless, they can get you scored on, like the overtime game that we just saw. But if you do it right, you place it right out of the hands of the defenders, they're just helpless and they're at the mercy of the shooter. And that time, it was perfectly placed.
And you expect a better clear from Yukis, but at the same time, he's trying to figure something out in the corner, hopefully going for a follow-up from his teammates, and yet the perfect read from Virtuoso. starting out strong. I think this is the first game that they have scored the first goal in this series.
And they're going to see, we'll see if they can keep the lead. Rizul getting the boost steal. This one off the backboard. Nachito doesn't get the read. That one off the crossbar, swooping. That shot, they needed that one to tie it up. And now we've seen chances for both Discombobulators and Baguette Squad, you know, go lacking. Lucas attempt that clear out, gets it to Rizul. Rizul low boost, flicks it. He's gonna have to retreat. No boost in sight for him, just picking up small pads, ends up getting demoed. Now Nachito just sending that in, perhaps trying to force more boost usage out of the team, but Swoop in a good play, gets that corner boost, or mid boost rather. Infield pass broken up by Virtuoso, and that's gonna be a breakaway goal. And it bites him again.
I mean, you just talked about it, James, cutting off these infield passes. If you can read that, it's in a wide open net. It's such a risky thing to go for these midfield passes. When it works, it pays off. But when you fail, it is probably the worst way to concede a goal because it's just free for the other team. If they can predict you and know where you're hitting it, it's over.
It's not without its risks, making that play.
But guess what? I feel like they're just really basic right now, sending up one player and keeping two in the backfield. They're not really taking chances.
And they're going to need to. And also, you think about that shot, now relating wave. With just a minute 5 left on the clock, puts in yet another goal for Discombobulators.
And it was that first touch from Nachito, getting it past them and then also flipping it in. Wow, that was, I didn't even see the flip right there. Getting almost a little bit of a pinch pass perfectly across the net. Using the corner once again is Discombobulators.
So after that slow start, they just continue to heat up. And now a double tap opportunity passed out into the middle. Nachito off the backboard, but you even saw that beautiful control to flip cancel so that he could try to get a little bit of a dribble. And then eventually going for that double tap. Now Yukas puts one in, 47 seconds left. They needed that to have any chance in the series. They got it now. The pressure's on to get another quick one.
Yeah, doing the same thing that Discombobulators basically just did to them. Violating that corner space, getting it across the net, and nobody on the defensive end is driving up the wall with that defense.
Virtuoso with another demo. Rizul going for the dunk. Ball shoots out to the corner. Nachito low on boost, swooping with the challenge. Nachito passes back to relating wave. Final 30 seconds. Virtuoso downfield. The backboard pass coming out. Rizul's up. Going for a double tap clear here. Gets another touch, but he's out of boost.
So the pass.
Up. Good pass. Rizul, first touch control. Double tap just misses. And that seems like it's going to be it. After they missed that opportunity, it was a difficult one. Almost made some fireworks happen.
That was the deciding moment in this game. If he had gotten that double touch, they might have had a chance here. But you know Discombobulators, they are in a huge relief after seeing that play just clock down. I mean, come on, you see him going up for the double touch, and you're thinking, how am I going to get back from this? But then again, the defense held up, and they have just taken the momentum from this series.
They certainly have, and you even think back to the moment Swoopin had that scoring opportunity. He didn't make the shot. It was just high off the crossbar. And then also Discombobulators, they had a couple chances that they didn't put through either. But overall, Discombobulators, after that game 1 where they didn't look that great, they have just bounced back. Game 2, that was a huge swing game. You know, you're well, anytime you get into overtime can be a big swing game. But then once you break past that 3-minute point, it really starts taxing you mentally, and you really get invested emotionally, and it can be a downer, especially if there's members on your team that don't have the best mentality, right? Yeah. If you have people who, when you're winning, great comms, everyone's working well, things are going great, that's awesome. But then when you lose a game like that, if you have a teammate who gets down, doesn't calm, even worse is the passive-aggressive size or comments.
It's difficult because I feel like that first game actually went perfectly because the overtime was just long enough to the point where you could see Baguette Squad try and shift their play style. And then as soon as that play style shifted and they got more clumped together, that's when they scored. So they carried that play style of Baguette Squad into the next game, and they just have not found that first footing that they managed to do so in the first game.
Yeah, and we'll see if they can answer back because now they're on the brink of losing this series. This could be the final game. Discombobulators lost game 1, but games 2 and 3 getting the victory. We'll see if Baguette Squad can keep the series alive. Game 4.
Both teams with some wins under their belt already in the season. You know this is going to be a competitive match, and one to the death, because this defense from Discombobulator is trying to outplay the visual mechanics of going for double touches and getting these passes in. And again, like you see, Nachito denying the opportunity after a great mechanical display.
Yeah, that was a very important touch. The net would have been very vulnerable. But good defense from Discombobulators, and now a clear downfield. Yukas trying to slow it down. Virtuoso completely out of boost. Gonna have to just start getting some pads and retreat back. Relating, getting beat by Swoopin. And Nachito with a big clear. That's gonna send Baguette Squad back and put Discombobulators on the attack potentially. Yeah. Now Virtuoso with the demo. Clear out. Yukas playing midfield defense. Going for the backboard pass, but Relating Wave was there, and a big win as well. It's going to send this off the backboard.
Oh, what a read from Rizzuo as well. That was so difficult. He had to predict it bouncing pretty much 2 times in the corner while still being in the air. Last man on defense, trying to bring it back for his team. He almost always hits those reads.
But on defense, that's one thing. They got to get something in the back of the net. Scoring has been difficult for them ever since game 1, where they just seem to be putting them up over and over. Haven't really found their groove yet. And the block attempt from Yukas comes out. It's going to go down to the corner, missing that boost initially. We'll see if that little slowdown affects them. That one on the goal line, and Yukas a split second too slow. Maybe if he got that boost, he might have been able to get back to get that clear.
I mean, I'm still amazed that Swoopin was able to get that instant save. The bit of a miss from Rizzuo in the corner, trying to get it clear. He should have hit that ball, missed it, and then he was too late to rotate back in.
And a tough break for Baguette Squad. Missing boost, that feels so bad.
Yeah. But you got to expect a clear in that corner. I think that was Rizzuo up in that corner. He needs to get that hit, or else the ball is just going to keep possession for Discombobulators. And it's just a crucial moments like that, James, where, like you said it yourself, that is what defines these series, being able to make those tight-knit situations.
Yeah, you might be the better team on the field, but if you don't make the plays when you have to, it doesn't matter.
And Discombobulators are doing just that when it comes down to those double touches and those crazy cross-field passes.
Discombobulators looking strong. Now backward pass over to Virtuoso, and Virtuoso upper 90. Discombobulators shredding the Baguette Squad.
What a beautiful pass. There's no defending that unless somebody's already pre on the board. And the splash defines that the best. That was nice.
Silky smooth. And Discombobulators, they might give you game 1, but
somehow
all the other ones, watch out.
I am still shocked because the instant turnaround on the defensive side is just so huge.
And now the shot, a big save from Virtuoso, and Swooping again. That was a shot that you have to hit. You know, stretching for it. Good defensive positioning. Baguette Squad needs something.
Yeah.
And that shot again saved by Virtuoso. And Wave is going to beat Swooping out. Clear from Yukas. Stopped by Virtuoso. Rizzuo tapping it to the middle now. Clear to the middle as well. Yukas! A laser beam!
And this shot is so difficult. Yukas coming towards the ball. A perfect shot to get them back in this game. Yukas coming out clutch.
That was a world-class counterattack. The center ball to a teammate waiting in net.
Yeah.
Blasts it upfield to a teammate waiting. And then that quality finish from Yukas. We saw him get a hat trick in game 1. Been quiet since, but that was a massive goal. We'll see if Baguette Squad can pull this back. Virtuoso hits that right back down to Yukas, who goes for the double tap, but broken up by Relating Wave. now, relating wave. Out of boost, Yukis pops this up. Goes for the shot. That one's saved. Under a minute left. Getting into crunch time. Is anyone back for Baguette Squad?
Oh.
No! Nachito, a wide open net. Where was the defense?
Trying to find some kind of rotation. Nachito is just going to walk this one in. Nobody back on the defensive side. I think that was Visual in the corner, but he probably assumed somebody was rotating back. Over-aggressing, and Baguette Squad just falls short with only 50 seconds left. Now we see Virtuoso going for the fake, and Nachito follows through.
And you know, Lottie is just a genius.
Yeah,
I don't know, you know,
she just knew.
He knew. And Discombobulators in the position to win here. And I love that play from Virtuoso. You just keep waiting. You force that challenge. The ball kicks out perfectly, and it's an easy cleanup. You force that defender to commit. And, you know, chances are with that 50-50, it's going to go somewhere where you can get the follow-up.
Truthfully, I thought he was just stalling. Oh, what a save as well. Swooping, making this as close as possible. There's 36 seconds left. It's still possible.
Yeah, we'll see how they fare on kickoff. Swooping, getting denied there, but eventually finishing that one off. And again, we saw Baguette Squad start to fight back near the end, but they couldn't keep it going. This is a good kickoff for them. Virtuoso, though, with a massive clear. Virtuoso over to the corner.
They need something. This next offensive drive, they need to connect with the net.
Has to happen here. Yukis with the shot. No, it's denied by Virtuoso. Sent back downfield. Precious time melting off the clock. And now, Discombobulators, after a devastating Game 1 loss, get 3 straight wins and get the series victory over Baguette Squad.
You got to give it to them and their defense, as well as using the corner play and the backboard of Baguette Squad. Everything started to connect so much more. It seemed like they just had nothing in line, and then they got their defense sorted, and then all of a sudden here comes the confidence with offense, able to make those mind games, going for the stalling. It was a complete switch around.
It really was, and you know, Discombobulators, they just sandbag Game 1.
Yeah.
They get you in a sense of false security.
Yeah, I mean, I think that was a good strategy. You see Baguette Squad, then you know what, we're going to take them to overtime, and we're going to wait all the way to the end to get this finisher and put the nail in the
And I mean, it's just, you know, goes to show you how important those overtime wins can be. Because you go back in time, Baguette Squad, if they win that series, they're up 2-0. It's likely that they just close it out. But, you know, the swing game there, that was such a good shot from Relating.
Definitely.
He just pelted that.
Yeah. I mean,
those feel good. Those feel good when you just get that perfect bounce and you just send it.
And I thought Baguette Squad, you know, with I think that was a shot from Yukis coming in from the other angle of the ball, barely managing. I thought that might have been as well a little bit of a momentum shift, but still they managed to stay out of the game because of that defense.
Yeah, very entertaining series, and that is just a small taste of what we'll have all day. We're going to go to a quick break, but when we come back, some ex-RLCS pros trying to fight their way back in. We've got Underwater Squad versus Fadeaway. Stay tuned until after the break.
Solar eclipses. Solar eclipses. Solar eclipses. Caught up in your gravity, always end up lost in your wake. Intoxicated, maybe we get started again. Caught up in your gravity, always end up lost in your wake. Intoxicated, maybe we get started again. Tomorrow we build. Depends on the future we want, we can make it as real. Maybe we will, though. Give up the ego. Making it feel good. Too scared to just let it go. Too scared to just let it go. Tomorrow we build. Depends on the future we want, we can make it as real. Maybe we will, though. Give up the ego. Making it feel good. Too scared to just let it go. Too scared to just let it go. Caught up in your gravity, always end up lost in your wake. Intoxicated, maybe we can start again. Caught up in your gravity, always end up lost in your wake. Intoxicated, maybe we can start
breaks my heart. Don't wanna feel your touch like ice, tracing all my scars. Why is it hurt on the inside? It's unforgivable, but I forgive you every time. Hard to let it go, 'cause we're intertwined. I break you break me, but something about it makes us whole, baby. Every piece keeps us together in the cold. I break you break me, holding our love in chains of gold. Frozen in my dream, I can't escape the thoughts of you. If I try to leave, when I'm with you I can't move. It's unforgivable, but I forgive you every time. Hard to let it go, 'cause we're intertwined. I break you break me, but something about it makes us whole, baby. Every piece keeps us together in the cold. I break you break me, holding our love in chains of gold.
Hello and welcome back to the European Rocket League Rival Series. We are in week number 1 and we've just seen our first series of the day. Discombobulators have taken this one against the Baguette squad and boy, they did it in such an incredible fashion. Gentlemen, thank you so much for casting that first one. Turtle, James Bot, brilliant stuff.
I mean, who
Start the
could have
morning.
seen that coming?
Yeah.
I mean, actually, I did.
Sounds like somebody.
Oh, that's right. That's right. You're just making us look bad.
I
Yeah.
appreciate you bringing the prediction up. I wasn't going to gas myself up, but, you know, you led me there. So, no, a fantastic turnaround there for Discombobulators. I really, looking at that first game, I thought Baguette squad had it in the bag.
Yeah.
I was really impressed with how they were working as a team, especially Yukis and Rizual. I mean, can I just ask, is Rizual perfecting his double tap pass?
Well,
or
I mean,
something?
he was doing well and they started well, but you just wonder, you know, what's the mentality like on that team? Because they looked so good in game 1. They had that close game 2, and when they lost it, things just started to get out of hand.
Yeah, I mean, the switch too of the defense from Discombobulators. I was watching with my glasses and I was trying to figure out how to put them on because I couldn't see what was going on. I was so confused, and it literally got to the point where I had to take them off because I didn't know what was going on. Literally, the whole thing switched so fast and so quick. It was almost as if something happened in communications. I wish we could ask them honestly because it was a giant leap.
Well, and we started to see a little bit more physical play. We saw some demos come in, but then we just saw great infield passes from Discombobulators, whereas Baguette Squad, they kept baiting their teammate in, and then we saw Relating Wave get the overtime goal with the long shot. Then we saw the breakaway play I think it was Virtuoso or maybe Nachito, but one of them just was able to cut off the pass and get a free breakaway goal. So the passing just wasn't there for Baguette's squad. We saw some good individual effort plays, but the infield passing was not where it was at for them. So they struggled with that.
I felt like Discombobulators, they started to have better positioning as the series went on, and I think that was down to the fact that they could then read the Baguette squad a lot easier after that first game. I think it almost felt like they were kind of letting them do their thing, let them play their game, analyze what they were doing, and then be like, okay, we know exactly where we need to be, when we need to be there. And I felt like that really came through for the following games there. But we have so much to talk about and so little time because we need to get into our next matchup. So let's talk about what we're going to be seeing next, gentlemen. We've got Underwater Squad versus Fadeaway. I'm super excited about this matchup because, of course, Underwater Squad, we've got Oskalon and Lorty, previous teammates in the very first Rival Series, and Osk's 4th season of the Rival Series as well. So he's not a newbie. He knows what he's doing here.
Yeah, I mean, actually that was the point I was going to make because he's a veteran in this Rival Series. He knows what it's like, and at this point, you can feel the hunger that this player has, Ocelon, being one of the 4 players who's in their 4th season of Rival Series now. You know he is so determined. Being in this repetitive scenario is so difficult, but only to become so close to RLCS, he's so hungry.
You know, it's kind of funny. It's a little bit of a reunion for Ocelon as well because Tigray and Extra were playing with him at DreamHack Montreal. So now this Fadeaway squad, they've instead of Ocelon, they have now iIgnite, and iIgnite was a player who came in, from the Rival Series into the RLCS back in the Envy days and helped turn that team around. They were a team that was facing relegation. iIgnite joins, they start performing way better. They moved to Weedem Girls and then eventually got picked up by TSM. So iIgnite has been at the top. E-League champion, going out with Tigray, who has some great experience as well. And this is going to be just a really fun match to watch these guys try to battle back into the RLCS. And this is the season to do it with 2 automatic promotion spots on the line. Every game so important to finish top 4. That is the main thing. But even finishing top 2, you put yourself 1 series away in the playoffs of getting into the RLCS.
I'm really excited to see how iIgnite fits into this Tigra Extra duo as well as their 3rd coming in because, I mean, as you know, with his career, he's been on so many different teams. We've had Infuse, Prophecy, Envy, and, he has been going back and forth in terms of placing, and I don't feel like he's quite found his stride yet with the team. So I'm super excited to see how this chemistry unwinds. How do you think he'll fit in?
I mean, he used to be, in my opinion, one of the best shooters on TSM. He was the guy who was finishing everything. And I think coming into a new team, especially in the Rival Series, you cannot rely so much, especially with a new team, to just instantly go for shots only. You have got to try and gel as best as possible. If his mentality is only focused on shooting and striking, I feel like that is really going to be a crutch for them.
Well, I mean, sometimes though that can be a benefit if Tigray and Extra can be on the same page.
Yeah, like definitely.
When I used to play with Espion, that's what we would do. We would just let him do damage, and we would just clean up sometimes, or just try to feed him. And iIgnite is such a fast player, but it's about being on the same page.
Yeah.
Because if you do have a player that's playing that way and you're not on the same page, all you get is double commits. You're going to get counterattacked on. So you're right. But it all depends on how well these guys synergize together. And we're going to start seeing how they synergize as the season moves on. So I can't wait to watch them play.
Yeah.
I'm very excited. Let's just quickly also flip it around again and talk about the Underwater Squad and Bilbo in particular, because he debuted last Rivals. He wasn't on the best team for him, but he was a top goal scorer as well as Oskalon, and it's really nice to see them now together, of course. But I want to know how this team are now going to do together, because obviously Oskalon, Bilbo not being together back in the previous Rivals, but now being together both as top goal scorers, surely that's going to do something for the team.
And it's a tough matchup for them. And for Bilbo, he's a player who has Gfinity experience.
Yeah.
He's been in the Rival Series before. But this is going to be a tough matchup for them. And Bilbo, there's a lot of players in Europe who have such great LAN experience from the Elite Series, or they continue to play online, but they're always just on the outside. And to me, that's kind of where Bilbo's at. He's always been on the outside looking in, and this is where he can really start building a reputation for himself in series like this, where you're playing those household names like iIgnite. So I think this is going to be a statement match for them.
Definitely. I think it's a theme of the whole Underwater Squad right now in general is, climbing back from being a stationary player. They're so tired of always being on the edge, like you said, being on the outside, always being a viewer. And now they have a chance, especially going up against, like you said, a household name, iGnite, trying to prove something against them. That is really what revolves and makes this team so hungry and committed.
Indeed, they're hungry for a win, and I'm sure they both are. Gentlemen, it is the time to do predictions. So, Turtle, what are we thinking?
I don't think I can turn on iGnite. I got to go Fade Away. I think that he's going to add that striking ability. If he doesn't focus too much on it and they are on the same page, like you said, James, they're going to take it.
Absolutely. I'm Fade Away all the way on this one. Tigray, iGnite, two players that we've seen play quite a bit in the RLCS, and I think we might see him get back there. So I'm going Fade Away.
Gentlemen, I think I'm going to have to agree with you on this one as well, so I'm also going to be Fade Away. I just think the caliber of this roster is a little bit too heavy for the Underwater squad. I'm really excited to see how this one does pan out because, gents, like you said, the last game you thought it was going to go one way, it could go the other, so I'm hoping I'm in the favor of the prediction this time.
Well, Lottie already is 1-0, and we're...
Yeah, I was intimidated. I heard her predict, and I was like, oh, well, she's going with us. So that means I'm a good pick right now.
Potentially, or that just means, we're still going to be behind.
Yeah.
But as game one gets kicked off, Tigray controlling the ball in the corner does get the boost, extra, sending it to the wall. iGnite's there. Oceania will touch that across net. iGnite last back on defense. Oceania the infield pass. Bilbo the shot, and that's going to beat out the fadeaway defense.
We just talked about it, the infield passing, trying to read as best as you can, but right here, it was almost like an instant cut from Oceania to get that to Bilbo. It didn't look like he was looking for the infield pass at all and got the perfect flip. That was almost like an illusion.
Yeah, Bilbo getting under that. It was an awkward looking shot.
Yeah.
One that potentially threw off the defender. Bilbo still had his flip, was able to get extra height on that ball, but also that pass from Oceania. Such nice finesse. So Underwater squad getting on the score sheet first. Lottie waiting for a chance. Oceania, the flick pass and a flip from Extra. Looked like Extra side flipped in net.
Oceania being the playmaker so far, running away with it, getting these perfect flips. Now iGnite, we see him going for the strike, putting things on net, and trying to hammer down right now on this Underwater squad.
Lottie is a player we didn't talk too much about, but also a Rival Series veteran. The only Czech player in the RLCS or Rival Series.
Yeah.
This Underwater squad trying to make a name for themselves against Fadeaway, and in game one, positioned to do that. Another shot blocked by iGnite, and great pressure from the Underwater squad as they continue to keep Fadeaway trapped in their hat. Oceania, the pop-up, iGnite's there. And iGnite didn't use Extra on the clear. Lottie, great touch. But then the block from, looks like Extra that was.
I love the possession so far from Fadeaway. Trying to at least find each other. Like you said, iGnite didn't really go for the pass clear, but I think that speaks a lot to his capabilities. Will he be overconfident? How does he view the Rival Series? I feel like his mentality and his mind is one that you can easily pick at and try and analyze how he perceives everything.
And it's tough being at the top and then having to start over again.
And we've seen it fuel people. We've seen Devo come through, having everything.
Louis as well.
Yeah, and fall to the bottom. And these players, they have the ability, because their passion for the game is strong enough that they can continue forward and build themselves as well out of a really competitive Rival Series. You make it back down to the Rival Series, it's not the easiest thing to climb back out of. These players, like Oceania, have been here waiting for their shot constantly, and finally they get a chance, especially with this new and improved bracket. James, like you said, this could be the only time that we see such a safety net for these teams.
Yeah, this is the best series to be in the Rival Series, or the best season rather to be in the Rival Series, with so many opportunities to make it to the big show. Tigray downfield. Bilbo, spear attempt, Extra. for backboard, and that's denied. Tigre attacking backboard again, but Oceania's there.
It was that instant goal that we saw at an Underwater Squad, making a statement early on in the game. And since then, we haven't seen too much pressure from both teams.
But possession definitely favoring Underwater Squad as they continue to put shot after shot onto the net of Fadeaway. And Fadeaway haven't been able to get much going. And a miss there from iIgnite. Bilbo challenged by Extra downfield. This could be a chance. Tigre taking over control. In the corner, stopped by Lottie. Now iIgnite can't get that by Bilbo. Bilbo out of
the double.
Pass from Extra.
The bump.
What a bump, and Extra getting the goal to tie it up. 30 seconds left. What a play.
This bump right now from who was that? Was that Extra? Oh my, and he got the finish, the little steal. I think he deserved that goal. Being able to hit that bump at such a crucial moment. 30 seconds left, and Fadeaway are back in it.
And you could even see it was intentional because he was using a little boost there.
Yeah.
Saw the defender gets the bump and secures that goal. What a play from Extra.
And I got confused because I saw Extra get the goal, and I thought he didn't go for the bump as well, you know?
There's no way he did everything.
Yeah. Oh, Tigre.
Tigre didn't get touch on that ball. iIgnite's gonna have to play this smart. Doesn't want to give up a 0-second goal. It's out to Ocelon. Backboard, Tigre hits it downfield, and now overtime.
Who will set the tone of this match? Right now, we got Underwater Squad and Fadeaway fighting right now to get any form of momentum, start the spark of the series. And both teams looking dominant right now. We've seen a great play from Extra, as well as Ocelon with a phenomenal pass early on in the game.
Yeah, the Underwater Squad looked to be the superior team early on. Fadeaway getting that goal with 30 seconds left out of a massive effort from Extra. iIgnite hunting down Bilbo, but Bilbo staying out of reach. Extra, first touch control, going for the dribble. Follow up from iIgnite. Ball to the corner, Extra's out of boost. That touch went straight up. Now into the middle.
Interesting
Ocelon.
touch. How do they keep possession right now? I mean, we saw a touch right there from iIgnite trying to pop it up. Doesn't seem like everything is too planned out right now. A bit of a panicky offense. And yet the possession is still there. A shot coming in from Tigre. And they finish off game one.
And Lottie backflips in net. You see it right here. Oh, feels bad. Lottie can't get up to challenge it. And that mistake, we talked about it earlier today, just the series, the games can a lot of times come down to that one mistake or that one incredible effort. And we see Lottie there, the backflip in net. That is a tough break. Underwater Squad looked so good for so much of that game.
And then Fadeaway, again, pulling a discombobulator, but this time, just in the first game, managing to bring it around. They had great possession, like you said, Underwater Squad, but then that backflip, I don't even think he could have gotten there. If he's going in through there.
It's possible. I mean, you know, maybe you couldn't get the challenge, but a lot of times you can at least pre-jump and try to block an angle.
And I think that does add a lot to the pressure. You know, if you see somebody else in there, you could distract from the shooter, but at the end of the day, it's just too fast to get that shot off.
And when he backflipped, you know, he wasn't covering anything.
Yeah.
You know, and we even saw it in the mouse game for RLCS last weekend, where Cookser, he just went up for a block instead of going for the ball touch, and that was actually on the play that Metzenaris got bumped out of the play. Alpha was able to score it, and then the whole reverse happened. But, you know, a lot of times you just try to cover as many angles as you can, even if you can't touch the ball. But Fadeaway, they didn't look that sharp on offense.
Yeah.
You know? And it took that Herculean effort from Extra to even get that goal. And that was a big bump play, if you remember that from him.
I mean, he went for the midair bump play whenever he had no boost to try and get that. Let's see if he can do it again. Extra, a clutch player and a clutch play in that game one. Will Underwater Squad find what it takes to bring it back?
Lottie. Backflip, hit that ball across the field. iIgnite. And every time I say Lottie's name, Lottie on the desk turns to the
Yeah,
It's a confusing series for her.
I'm surprised she didn't pick. You know, it could be interesting to see how that plays out. Maybe she is actually controlling backstage.
Potentially. And now, Fadeaway continue that momentum that they got from the last game.
And I definitely think a big part of it for Fadeaway was the warm-up. You know, iGNITE coming in from the Rivals, or from RLCS, excuse me. It's a different play style. It's a different atmosphere here in Rival Series. You have to adjust to it and make certain changes in how you play the game.
And, you know, all these teams closely matched, 10-team league now. So a bit more forgiving.
Definitely.
However, finishing in that top 4, that is what these guys are gunning for. Finishing top 2 even better. Because you know one of the top 2 teams will certainly be in the RLCS next season with the way that Page playoff system works. Fadeaway looking to be one of those teams as they keep this pressure on. Extra. Chip to himself off the corner. Didn't get connection, but iGNITE keeping this ball in play. iGNITE the shot off the post and in.
The read here from iGNITE as well. He saw his teammate go for the ball, get the miss, and he still follows through. He says, you know what? You can miss this. I'll come through, keep possession, and then get a great shot on net from a dribble.
And you know, I didn't even think iGNITE had the angle there. But he puts that post and in, showing us his striker chops. Now Bilbo getting blocked out by Tigre, but ball into the corner. iGNITE a good read. Tigre, stopped by Bilbo, but Extra clears it down. Lottie back to the corner. As we see Underwater Squad try to gear up for a counterattack. That pinch will set him up to get some time on the attack. Good stop there. That one off the ceiling and almost bouncing in. Bilbo flipping back. Ocelon, good chip. Ocelon going for that boost steal, and then the infield pass. Too much of a commitment from Underwater Squad.
And here comes Tigre down the field. What a way to challenge it, and it was directly to iGNITE. What a position as well, I mean, rotating through.
You know, you feel a little bad for Underwater Squad too, because that was a pinch.
Yeah.
That pinched off an Underwater Squad player. It went right by the nose of another player with extra velocity.
And you got to give it to iGNITE, being in position, rotating back, and you know, not being too focused on boost. And then here comes Extra, putting in the third one for Fadeaway.
Things starting to get out of hand for Underwater Squad. Bilbo puts that out into the middle. You have to get those to the sideline. Extra showing him the reason why.
And what I loved about Ocelon early in this game, or in the series, excuse me, was his dribbles and his mechanical ability with flicks on controlling the game and the pace. Kind of reminded me a lot of Chaussette and the way that he takes the pace. We need to see that from Underwater Squad. Any of these players right now have got to take charge and bring this into their own hands instead of just trying to force clear everything.
And it's so right. It's taking the defenders out of the play. If you can slow it down, and even like Lottie's doing, that flick maybe a little too early. But if you can make 1 or 2 defenders miss and then let your teammate come in for the challenge, that does a world of difference, helping you break out of the siege when a team just has you. You can see this playing out. Fadeaway keeping the pressure on. Tigre backboard pass. iGNITE the shot, and that one's saved. But out of boost, Lottie can't really do much with the ball.
Can't even get the counterattack right there. I mean, it was a great opportunity. He had the dribble, but no boost.
And we see Bilbo having to go all the way back to Fadeaway's corner to get boost. iGNITE half flips back, no boost to turn, so he'll retreat. Tigre can't be there. Extra with a little bit of space will be able to get to the ball. Double commit from Fadeaway, but less than a minute left.
Pass.
Goal lead. It's looking pretty safe for Fadeaway.
Yeah. Something has to connect right now with the Underwater Squad. They have been too lackluster on the field no vision. I mean, you see a few midfield passes come through, but mechanical mistakes in the corner from Bilbo. We saw the misclear earlier happen to secure that third goal from fadeaway. And it's these crucial moments, James. Like you said, it always comes down to this. This is where the training for these moments happens. You have got to be on par with everything happening on the pitch to keep up with iignite.
It's just the pressure's on. It doesn't matter how well you scrim, how well you practice. In the games is where it matters. Being that player that makes the mistake that costs your team a game is rough.
Yeah.
Fadeaway have not let up since that overtime win. The game they stole in game 1. And now in game 2, the shutout over Underwater Squad. They're looking sharp.
iignite leading the charge. There he is again with the striker attribute. 8 shots on net, just hammering down on the Underwater Squad. I mean, what do you do? What's the move here if you're Underwater Squad? You got 60 seconds. What are you telling your team right now?
Just play like we did in game 1.
Yeah.
Just play like we did in game 1. They had good pressure. You know, they just haven't been able to find as many scoring opportunities as they'd like. I mean, even in the first game, it was a very low-scoring game, and now here they didn't manage to put one in. But a lot of it was just mistakes. Like we saw the mistake from Bilbo, couldn't get the clear. Perhaps he was just low on boost. That was the best touch he could get. But you know, you can't let that ball leak out
Definitely
like that, especially with height. If you're low on boost, the ball's out in the middle, high in the air, and you have an attacker coming up with the perfect angle, they're going to get power.
Yeah.
You know, you're giving up a goal 9 out of 10 times.
And there were chances for Underwater Squad to try and come back and get a nice counterattack in, but we saw a play where there was just no boost.
Yeah.
After so much defense and so much of the possession being against you, how do you come back? How do you get the clear? You can't even get a monster clear because nobody has boost. The best thing you can do is just throw yourself at the ball. Usually it works,
and
but
then
like
hope,
you said,
maybe get a pinch clear.
Yeah, and
or
nothing comes up.
Try to get some space, but you know, you mentioned it, the boost. We saw multiple players have to go all the way back into fadeaway's half to get boost in the corners. So, you know, it's been a rough series so far for Underwater Squad. A tough break in game 1, shutout in game 2. But we saw some reverse sweeps in week 1 of the RLCS, so maybe we will see one here. But fadeaway, a strong grip in game 1, or game 2 rather.
iignite.
Didn't have enough boost to really do much, but still was able to get that ball leaking out into the middle. More pressure, double commit yet again from fadeaway. We've seen that a couple times. But it hasn't really come back to haunt them.
Yeah. And I think a big part of it really is on going for those passes. Where you double commit. I mean, I guess if both people are going for the shot, as long as you get some form of contact. But a double commit on somebody who can predict where it's going. James, we've talked about it already so much today. Intercepting midfield passes.
Yes, and it, what a save! Extra reading the double tap from Bilbo.
That was ridiculous. That could have shifted everything. They needed that. Underwater Squad needed a standout play for their team to put them on the board here. They haven't scored since game 1.
But you know, I love this. It's you know, almost like what happened with Alpha when he teams up with Bluey and Devo. Those are 2 household names, and Lottie cutting me off. Wanted to get into story mode.
Yeah. And thankfully he's here because they needed something.
It was just,
I mean, he's frustrated after seeing that save from Extra.
Fantastic speed. Lottie was able to get that pinch pass out to himself. And iignite thought he had time to get boost in the corner and come back and play defense, but no, just excellent speed from Lottie. But I was going to say for Extra, it's kind of like the Alpha situation with Savage back in the day, where they team up with Alpha, who's this name that we haven't really seen as much before, young player.
With a breakout at DreamHack as well. I mean, his performance with Tigre was something that we have to pay attention to.
Yeah, absolutely. But Extra, I would say a little more seasoned, a little more veteran, but still teaming up with 2 RLCS pros to try to make that run. And maybe we'll see Extra in the RLCS if things pan out. He's having a great series.
Now the double.
Or chance, the drop, just too high. You saw Extra actually giving him that space to shoot. potentially predicting that it would be high.
And I'm surprised nobody was on the backboard there. Oh, Tigray, can you shoot it any better than this? Upper 90 down.
And that was a backwards pass from iignite up to Extra.
Wow.
On the wall, followed up by the perfect shot.
The pass from I didn't even see the pass come through at first. I thought he was going, the same way the ball was, but he actually came against it, saw Tigray, and just, you see the synergy building right now with this fadeaway squad.
Yeah, that was a team passing play. All started out with the bumper of iignite, the back bumper too.
Yeah.
Extra will send that downfield. Bilbo clearing it up the sideline. Tigray getting back on the wall. Going for a challenge. iignite trying to block out Lottie. Lottie gets it airborne. Going for the bump on Extra, but Extra with the clear.
Yeah. And Underwater Squad, I feel like they always have this one-man aggressor, and whoever is second behind, they are just so far away. They can't follow up on any challenges. With the playstyle right now that Underwater Squad's going for, it's very, just throw yourself at the ball, try and get a solid challenge.
I mean, even there, you saw both players behind the midfield line.
Yeah.
That ball was bouncing
too
off
passive.
the backboard.
And I think a big part of that is risk and, overvaluing who you're going up against. Like you said, household
Too
names.
much respect. You're right, Turtle. Sometimes you just have to throw respect out the window and just go.
Yeah, and it's a mental thing. I've talked about it before. The idea of just, trying to block out the names that you see against your team. Almost for some players specifically, it could be better not even to know who you're playing against.
Put it in streamer mode.
Yeah, there you go.
iignite getting a big block. Now Ocelon, the flick attempt. Extra has some boost, going for a second touch,
Yeah.
but Bilbo denying that backboard.
Still tied up here though, even with fadeaways, phenomenal passing play. They haven't managed to find another one here. And Underwater Squad, again, using that first goal they got early on in the game to carry out the rest.
Hit that 30 seconds remaining mark. Lottie clear by one. A pop from iignite is going to send it high. Ocelon using up every ounce of boost for that. Extra sends it back off the backboard. Bilbo can't get the read. Almost another highlight shot from Extra. Underwater Squad not out of danger yet. Tigray sending that into the middle.
They could finish this right now. I mean, both teams, the counterattack though from fadeaway, so much possession.
Going off the backboard. iignite is going to hit that to the corner in overtime. We saw overtime previously in this series. The steal from fadeaway in game one when they score with 30 seconds left and then eventually won in overtime. Can Underwater Squad get one back here? Series on the line.
And in overtime, mainly, it's so easy to, we talk about respect, to back off. Nobody wants to get conceded against. You're so terrified of that. But you got to play to win instead of not to lose right now. Underwater Squad, you got to push up, force everything you have at this fadeaway defense.
The challenge there. They're going for it. This one might bounce down, straight down. Extra, another perfect hit. Those are so hard to handle. And he handled that as best as you can. Now on the other end, iignite getting shut down. Bilbo.
Oh, what a beat.
Towards net. Extra again with the stop. Ocelon with boost. Goes for the pass. iignite clears it to the side. Bilbo and Lottie waiting. Lottie gives up possession to Tigray.
And Underwater right now, they have the speed, and they're outpacing a lot of this fadeaway defense, but nobody else is there to follow up. And now look at Extra, so much space. What can he do with it?
Extra. He almost hit that double tap earlier. That would have been the game winner. And he got that bump goal in game one. Extra has been looking very good. Key figure in this series for fadeaway.
Oh, that's on.
Towards net. That one's off the crossbar and out. Extra gets bumped out of the plate. Sent up the wall. Tigray is going to have to let Extra take over.
A big crossbar miss that had the opening for Underwater Squad. They didn't even need to use their teammates. It was a huge gap. in the fadeaway defense, and here comes a pass. Possession game for fadeaway, trying to put it in the middle.
Oh, an extra. Didn't have the boost. He wasn't in the middle. That ball leaked out. ignite has been so good on his challenges. Now Oceania coming in, this one off the ceiling, bouncing off the backboard, and the read from Tigre. Still scary moments for fadeaway. Underwater Squad have been held at bay, but now they're on this end, trying to beat the Underwater Squad defense. Now into the corner, boost steal from Tigre. That pop there, Lottie will have to handle it, sends it to the side. Tigre's ready and waiting, shot towards net, Bilbo with the save. Extra. First touch control, going for the double tap, and that one missed. And ignite wasn't ready for the shot.
Yeah, and you saw him prepared for that double touch. Still able to make some kind of contact with the ball. A great recovery from him, and that's somebody I've seen so often, but ignite finishes it off the entire series with a 3-0 for fadeaway.
The overtime winner from ignite, and that's what fadeaway does. They just give you hope and they take it.
I mean, ignite, a player I was just talking about, he has been the safety net anytime anybody makes any mistake on that offensive side. Ooh,
look at the
he knows we're talking about him. He knows it.
Alpha boost, extra.
Yeah.
You know, he's happy. Look at that. 561 points, an assist, extra. Key figure in that.
Definitely.
Ooh.
And it was also the saves. You saw that first initial recovery to stop any form of, mechanical prowess coming in from the Underwater Squad. And I just feel like that played so much. The only goals they were getting were solo plays, not connecting anything.
Yeah, and it seemed, though, that they had moments where they could have, 2 overtime games. That's easily, maybe we're going into game 4, and it's 2-1 in favor of Underwater Squad.
Yeah.
And game 2 was definitely heavily in favor of fadeaway. But, fadeaway, they didn't look like a team that was extremely dominant. I was hoping to see previous RLCS players come in and just wipe the floor with them.
Yeah.
But this Underwater Squad, they stuck with them. They kept it a series.
And that's got to speak to the level of competition right now in the rival series. I mean, it's so close. I can't explain it. You make those core mistakes that we talked about. If you're ignite, you're coming in, you can make the exact same mistakes. There is no leverage room to make an opening. And there were several openings. As long as, Underwater Squad, if they just found each other, found more of the midfield passes, it would have been a closer game.
Absolutely. Well, we'll see if they can bounce back. But Tigre, ignite, and extra, those guys get the win. They have their eyes set on the prize of RLCS. We're going to go to a quick break, but when we come back, Discombobulators versus Vertex. More of RLRS coming up after the break. Stay tuned.
like poison. You know you make me reckless. I'll run, but you are friction. Your touch feels like heaven. You make me hate all my sins. You are my religion. My religion. I have a million reasons to leave you. But I have a billion reasons to keep.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the European Rocket League Rival Series. We're on week number 1 and we just finished our series number 2. And it really was quite a fadeaway for our underwater team, as fadeaway did take that one away. I mean, incredible stuff here. I'm joined by 2 new faces this morning. It's lovely to see you guys. I've got Subi and I have Stacks. Guys, I mean, a really exciting match that we just saw, the Underwater Squad versus Fadeaway. Fadeaway really did impress me watching this, and I felt like ignite was the glue that that team really needed. He showed us what he can do, and I can't wait to see more of it.
Yeah, once he woke up, it was just game over. Fadeaway just looking like one of the teams that's going to be unstoppable in our European region for the Rival Series, with ignite, Tigray, and Extra pulling up the anchor. I mean, he looked like the RLCS veteran. He was hitting some incredible shots.
Yeah, Extra absolutely fit in that series. His shot placement, I think, was what was really impressive, because he was able to snipe any corner of the net he wanted, even jumping really early. I mean, he was so quick to the ball, so accurate. He was in mid-season form, and it's only week 1.
It is. Right in the first game of that series, the bump and that cheeky little finish he managed to get as well. It's just pro-level stuff. And, we saw that across the board there as well from Fadeaway. So I think that this is actually going to be a very high-caliber team going forward in the weeks. And I think a couple of other teams need to watch out for these guys because, they got something coming to them. But I'm very, very impressed. I do feel a little bit sorry for Underwater Squad there. They just couldn't quite find their feet. What do you think they were missing?
It was just the midfield challenges. It seemed like ignite was just stealing those midfield boost pads time and time again. Tigray was able to just come in and out of the offensive rotations at will. So maybe they need to focus on maybe trying some defensive demos to allow them to get some clears, but they've got some homework to do, especially if they're going to try and get in top 4.
Yeah, and really, I think they missed luck at times, because the first game, it ends when Lottie backflips. And then they have another overtime where ignite scores the game winner, and it looked like under pressure, Fadeaway was that much better when it mattered most. And for Underwater Squad, I don't think you can hang your heads over this one at all. I mean, look, it's your first loss. You don't really have that much to panic about right now, and you've got a pretty good set of matches coming up in the next couple of weeks. I think they can bounce back from this.
100%. A lot of mistakes that were happening, missed clears. Bilbo having a really hard time as well in a few of the games. So hopefully they can take those away, work on them, and come back on a better day. Let's take a look at now what we have coming up next for you. And our next matchup, we have Discombobulators once again versus Team Vertex. Discombobulators looking utterly incredible against that Baguette squad. That beginning game for me, I was a little bit nervous watching them, thinking, okay, maybe this actually could be going into a 3-0 sweep, but they came back. They came back at it. They read their opponent really well, capitalized on all of their mistakes, and kind of worked to their advantage watching that team in that first game and learning what they needed to do next. And I was really impressed with Nachito. I really did want to look at him going into that series as well. And of course, against Team Vertex, we've got Coca, we've got Dumain, and R12X45. I believe I'm saying that correctly, because that is a little bit of a mouthful as well. But super excited to see this team, and I think Discombobulators may be taking this one home if they continue that kind of streak that they were showing us in the beginning of this morning.
Yeah, and during the first week, which took place on the B stream, the Discombobulators actually did the same exact thing against ARG. They opened up, and it was 4-1 or 5-1?
5-1.
5-1 at the end of the game, just looking like an absolute rookie team. And then in games 2, 3, and 4, turning it around completely. So maybe this is part of their game style. Maybe they say, hey, let's come out game 1, let's see what they have to offer, and we're going to play accordingly. I don't know if that's going to be the case the entire season. I don't know if they can rely on that the entire season, because game 1s are really important. You want to get those under your belt. but for now it's working. They're 2-0, and they've only dropped 2 games so far.
Yeah, you can't continue to get away with that, though, over the course of the season. Look, they're getting outscored 9-1 in Game 1, but what's important is they're bouncing back. They're outscoring their opponents 17-6 in the rest of the series. Hey, that'll get you some places, but they have to show up at the start of the series once they go up against a team like Fadeaway or even like Method, which we're going to see a little bit later.
Well, Subi, Stacks, before we do get into this next series, I do need some predictions from you. So, what are we starting your morning off with, Subi?
You know, I'm going to start my morning off discombobulated, because why not? Just cause utter chaos and confusion to start your day, but you can't bet against them, I don't think. Vertex, they're 0-2 so far. The exact inverse of discombobulators as far as games and series go, so I have to go with discombobulators.
Yeah, look, both of these teams played very good opponents in Week 1. They both had 25 shots in their series. Discombobulators scored more goals. They looked a lot better earlier today. I got the Discombobulators as well.
Well, lucky for you, gents, I'm 2 for 2 on predictions, and I'm also going to go with Discombobulators, who I backed in the first game. So hopefully we're bringing this third prediction home for me. Gents, we are pretty much ready to go, so please enjoy your first cast of the day.
I don't know that we've had a host go perfect on the first day of the show. That would be a record, I think.
That would be pretty good. That would be impressive.
I mean, I'm not like the super historian here of the Rival Series, but I like their chances. Here we go, though. Discombobulators taking on Team Vertex, looking to start their season now 3-0. If they can knock down Vertex, is Vertex under fire early on. Nachito making the stop there. He will have to work with a full tank of boost out of his own corner. And he has plenty of space to work with. The defender just sat there and watched him go to the center of the field. Pop over one. Relating wave goes behind the defender, and the Discombobulators strike first.
How about the mechanics put on display just right out of the gates from Relating Wave? Look at the wave dash coming down to get the pinch put onto the ball. Just great shot placement there, and Discombobulators get an early goal in game number 1.
So Relating Wave strikes first. Could be the first of many. Virtuoso adds another.
Ooh, baby, they are not waiting for Team Vertex to wake up at all. Look how quick Virtuoso is to read this and put it just under the crossbar. No one back for Team Vertex on their kickoff. Let's see if that's going to be a continued trend moving forward.
We know they can defend as well. They had that lengthy overtime earlier, and this man, Nachito, tied a Rival Series record with 7 saves in that game, which they ultimately won. That's going to be blocked away by Relating Wave and thrown across by Ryzex. Shot on from Dumain, nothing doing there. But another opportunity, Koka doesn't have a teammate on the other end of that pass, and that could be a problem for Vertex. If they're not connecting on their passes, not taking advantage of the few opportunities they might get against Discombobulators, it could be a very long series. They're already behind the 8 ball. Big shot here. No, it's going to go well wide. And there was an effort there from Koka to create some havoc in front of the net, but he could not open things up.
Yeah, I like the idea there of going to disrupt that goalie. And once again, numbers 14 Vertex, but they can't break out of midfield. Let's see if Ryzex can do anything with this. Up off the ceiling, unchallenged, has his flip, but Nachito meets him at the point of contact and gets the ball over to Discombobulators.
It will be Vert throwing another one in. Virtuoso much more involved in the attacking game than he was against ARG. He did a lot of his work away from the ball. A lot of bumps, a lot of demos, especially later on in that series. Nachito running back as Relating Wave will drop one in front. Bird is there, but so too is Ryzex.
Great clear downfield from Doom there, all the way down, but Nachito was waiting. Look at Koka going up off the backboard, but Relating Wave, good backboard defense from the Discombobulators, something that was kind of plaguing them against ARG. They seem to have cleaned it up beautifully here in week 1.
Big clear again from Koka. That'll be a shot on target, one of the easier saves that Relating Wave is going to make this season. And it is Nachito. Blocked by Dumain. Dumain coming in, shooting 50%. 3 goals on 6 shots against a very tough Baguette squad. Koka. Can he find Dumaine here? He can, but very soft touch, and Relating Wave clears it.
One thing that you're going to want to keep your eye on for the Discombobulators is they do have a tendency to short clear their ball in the defensive zone, so it goes to the top of the box. If Team Vertex can see that and capitalize on it, they're going to be able to score a ton of goals. It's just a matter of if they start to notice it.
Nachito battling with Koka. That will wind up in front for Relating Wave to add another. The shot's going to be wide, and Koka should collect it out of the corner. Nachito coming right back in. That will be blocked away, and Virtuoso has to scramble back. He will take this himself. A little miscommunication between him and Nachito. Opportunity now for Vertex to get on the board, and again sent away by Relating Wave.
Oh, and this one's on target, going in between the dotted lines, and Nachito puts the 3rd one on the scoreboard for Discombobulators.
Nachito getting his first. He came in leading the team in goals, and he'll add to his total there with his 10th goal of the season, and a big one for Discombobulators as they look to have put game 1 away. Everybody on the scoreboard for the front runners in this series. It is going to be Dumaine as Vertex looks to get any kind of momentum going forward in this series. A series that on paper looked like it would be a relatively even matchup. It has turned into anything but. But then again, we've seen Discombobulators, they have been a different team between games 1 and the rest of the series. Could work in reverse as well. That ball will end up to the side. Vert again pops it away, and it's just classic time wasting at this point as Discombobulators have this one in the bag, and a very patient play from Vert.
Hook, line, and sinker. Virtuoso absolutely baiting the goalie out. Nice delay on this ball. Dumaine had no clue where that shot was going to go. And Virtuoso with his 2nd goal in game number 1.
4-zip the score line, and counting perhaps. Relating Wave lost his traction on the wall, but it will be Nachito. Up top and dropped right down to him. Discombobulators firing on all cylinders.
Oh my goodness, this team is going to be so hard to take down. Team Vertex needs to wake up, and they need to wake up quickly. It just looks like they have no sense of urgency. The goals are piling on, but their gameplay has not shifted whatsoever. And there's the first one on the board, but a little bit too late.
Just a little kickoff goal, which ultimately will prove of no consequence whatsoever. It is a goal for Vertex, and at least they get to see the ball enter the net. And if nothing else, that can provide a small confidence boost. It won't do much for game number 1. Final 10 seconds will tick away rather mercifully for Team Vertex as Discombobulators will put the finishing touches on a dominant opening game victory. They may even add another. No, the ball will finally touch down, and that will do it. Discombobulators sending a message in game number 1, Subi.
My goodness, did they ever. Looking like they are just firing on all cylinders, working like a well-oiled machine, Stacks, and the ball hits the ground. Game number 1 is in the bag for Discombobulators. They have carried the momentum from the first game of today all the way into game number 3 that we're working on right now. Team Vertex, though, they have some work to put in themselves. Just looked like they were a little too spread out at times, especially when they were rotating back to go back on defense. It seemed like always those 2 guys rotating back were going for the back corner boost pads, leaving that net wide open, and Discombobulators just had their pick at where they wanted to shoot that ball on net.
Yeah, the Discombobulators, I mean, we both thought that the Team Vertex would have opportunities to score. Discombobulators gave ARG plenty of chances to score earlier on last week. They did not give Team Vertex many high-quality chances at all. That was solid defense. Yeah, they gave up a goal on the kickoff. Like, it doesn't even count, especially in garbage time. So, effectively a shutout for Discombobulators. That has to feel really great for them going forward in this series.
Well, and oddly enough, the shots were pretty close. It wasn't like Team Vertex only had 2 shots on target, 2 shots on the board, but like you said, they just weren't accurate with those shots. They weren't hard play shots, so to defend them, super easy. They have to be a little more creative. I don't think I saw one midfield pass, so they weren't pulling any goalies out of the net. If you can get those midfield passing plays working for you, you're going to be able to turn it into a 3v2 scenario.
10-6 were these shots. You can rely on caster math in game 1. Favoring discombobulators. We'll see what Vertex has in store for game 2. Can they channel a little bit of what we've seen from the discombobulators so far this season? For game 1, just kind of a wash. It is Relating Wave for Nachito. And back it goes for Vert. Very quickly back on the attack, and a chance in front. But again, they just rush backwards. Team Vertex not willing to take a chance and force the issue.
That's okay. It's still very early in game 2. I don't want to see them get a little too confident and get overly aggressive, putting themselves down a man on defense. Nice bump there in the zone, and net's open, and Dumaine capitalizes.
Their first lead of this series, and it comes with a little physical play from Ryzex. Got Nachito a couple of times. That opens it up for Dumaine. Score his first goal of the series. And now we'll see what Vertex can do. Scoring in the first minute could be a sign of a turnaround. But that physical play, Subi, I think that's going to be a cornerstone of this offense. They want to get opportunities like that going forward.
Yeah, they're going to have to do that if they're going to want to shake up the discombobulators at all. If they can, we were talking about those short clear stacks. If those come out, but first, how about that roll down? Not gonna get into the box, and the shot on target from Relating Wave, answering very quickly.
Just a quick counterattack, big clear from Nachito off that back wall, and Relating Wave strafing across at the center line. Just throws it right at the net. Good things happen. It has here, and discombobulators quickly tie the game right back up. And now a chance off the kickoff. Going back the other way. This is where discombobulators were a little vulnerable against ARG a couple of times. They do shut the door, and we get back into something resembling normal rotations, and Dumaine makes the save. It is Nachito just beating Ryzex to that ball. He's got Relating Wave waiting for a pass, but the shot is stuffed by Coca. Now Coca back the other way. He is not going to get onto this before Vert does.
Yeah, Virtuoso is the third man, and once again, net wide open stacks. That's exactly what we were talking about on their rotations back. Team Vertex are going for both corners, and that net is wide open.
When you make the pass and you are done with the play, get out of there. They are not, and discombobulators score yet another empty net goal. Virtuoso cheating up off the kickoff as he got this one deep into the corner as well. Vert is still there on the backboard, but Coca has another clear.
Oh, good demo.
And it's not going to work out at all. Actually, it may, as Vert has given that one right back to Dumaine. But there was nothing else going forward. They threw the ball in the corner, then they all just backed off.
And speaking of Virtuoso, what an interesting player to watch. He is their third man more times than not, but you'll turn to him, and all of a sudden, he's in his opponent's goal looking for a demo, and once again, the net wide open, Relating Wave, finding chinks in the armor of Team Vertex.
It is the fourth goal of the series for Relating Wave, assisted on there by Vert, and he has added a number of assists so far today. I believe he's up to 9 now on the season. It is Relating Wave, stuffed by Ryzex. It's an opportunity, but that ball goes back beyond Dumaine, and a missed opportunity there by Vertex. We talked about how many chances you're really going to get against discombobulators. They have gotten some, Team Vertex, but they haven't cashed in nearly frequently enough.
And the one that they did cash in on, they created the opportunity themselves. And what a save from Nachito twice in a row. Virtuoso and Relating Wave combining to save that. It is an iron wall on the blue net.
That is incredible. 2 big saves from Nachito. His teammates come in and make another pair of saves. 4 saves in the span of about 10 seconds, and then maybe a goal on the other side after Nachito bullies his way through Dumaine. Now Koka has Relating Wave just riding him the whole way back. Not letting him get around on an angle, and this will be cleared away again.
And that's the spacing right there from Team Vertex. Not pushed up in the offensive half enough and just allowing that ball to get cleared into the orange zone. Here they come again. The net's open, and Rizex capitalizes.
They were so good defensively. The spacing was still great from Discombobulators. Nobody in the same place at the same time until that whiff right there. Relating Wave forced to go all the way across the net. Great placement from Rizex. And it gets Vertex back in this game off a critical mistake.
Still plenty of time to work with in game number 2. They don't need to get overly aggressive here. Still work together as a team. Good clear downfield. Koka puts that one on target, but Relating Wave able to get back in time.
Dumaine over to Rizex, and that is well read by Nachito. Able to stuff out the passing play, and he throws that one towards the net. Burton was waiting for a pass that never came, so he'll have to rush back. And now to be Relating Wave with Nachito in support, and nothing happening there thanks to the defense of Dumaine. Dumaine again needs another touch. He'll get a little help from Koka, but nothing in front of the net just yet. That is, but nobody can commit. And Nachito is up light years ahead of the attackers, and a great save there made by Rizex. I think recognizing Relating Wave did not have the boost.
Right, yeah, and I was questioning his decision to rotate back there instead of going up for that ball. They are down 1 goal, but hey, it worked for him. They're still chasing one. He's up looking for the double tap, can't find it, and that one goes astray. Still down by 1, 20 seconds to go. Team Vertex marching forward.
One key from that Baguette Squad series earlier with Discombobulators, nobody defended the backboard. It almost cost Discombobulators there. Rizex needs to get this somewhere near the target. Instead, it's right at Nachito with another save. He has been brilliant on defense in week number 1, and that should just about do it. Vertex has to go to the length of the field. They have stagnated, and Virtuoso finishes the job.
Cheeky shot here from Virtuoso. Watch him going downfield, just causing chaos in net, and then gets a little boop on the ball to give Discombobulators the 2-game advantage in this series.
2 down and 1 to go for the Discombobulators. And they had to hang on there. There was kind of a self-inflicted wound, I think, trying to hold on to that lead. They almost let it slip. That big mistake that let Rizex get Vertex back within 1. But they limited opportunities for most of the game again. A lot more shots, though, this time for Team Vertex. That's got to be encouraging as they try to start a reverse sweep.
Well, and they weren't blown out of the water in this game either, so that's got to do great things for their confidence levels. But the most impressive thing for me from Discombobulators, they've had 9 goals in 2 games. Only 1 of those has been unassisted. These guys are working like a team. It's showing on the field. It's showing off the field with their stats. Could this be just another Titan in the rival series that we see go undefeated all the way to the end?
Well, this is a team that was in the top 6. They were the number 6 seed of last season's play-in. And the teams they lost to, Xenamoon and the Baguette Squad. You talk about a team being snake-bitten. They had all the chances. It could have been them that made it into the rival series last time around. This time, they knock off some RLCS veterans. They make their way into the rival series this time around, and they are making the most of this opportunity. When we talk about teams getting that chance, we're talking about teams like the Discombobulators.
Well, and we've seen so many seasons in a row how important not just every series is, but every single game. How many times has a team come in 3rd place because they're down a game? And how about that shot from Virtuoso to open up game number 3?
Look at that touch from Vert, and Dumaine never had a chance. He didn't see that coming, never could have got to it in a million years. 10 seconds in, Discombobulators in the driver's seat again. Popped one up for Relating Wave, and he was able to get there, but Dumaine made the save. Now Koka needs to find a teammate. First of all, needs a teammate to find. Ryzex is there. Domain thought about coming up as well. Instead, wisely holds back, and now Vertex can try to break downfield, but they have got to keep that first touch just a little closer so they can chase it down.
Yeah, exactly. That first touch is just kind of getting away from him, and Relating Wave just carrying that ball into the zone. Nachito can't quite get it under the crossbar. Coca does deny him, but the Discombobulators just holding the offensive zone so well right now.
And everybody has missed this. Bouncer in front, and that one will go on the lapper reel.
If you're going to let the ball bounce 1 and a 2 off of the crossbar in your own zone and 3 players whiff, you deserve to get punished for it. Down 2 goals, 4 minutes still to go in this game. They need to wake up right now.
That would be an unassisted goal, by the way, Subi. Just so you know. So what does that make, 2 now for the series?
That's 2.
But they were assisted, all right, by the defense. That one also unassisted. It is Vert again, and these are mistakes that you cannot afford to make. The 3 goals that Discombobulators have scored have been the result of really lackluster defense.
Yeah, exactly that. They're kind of creating chaos because of the lack of communication. They're not calling out where they are. They're not calling teammates off, it looks like. They just need to calm down, take a few deep breaths, and fight their way back into game number 3.
Team Vertex right now looking like a team that is visibly rattled. Relating Wave. All day to play this ball, and he just goes under it. I don't think his car reacted quite the way he thought it would, coming off that wall.
Oh!
And that mistake should lead to a goal, but it won't.
A diving save on the goal line from Nachito. Somehow keeps it out of the net and just demoralizes Team Vertex even more.
When the ball bounces 1, 2, 3 times off the crossbar, the defense misses it, you deserve to get scored on. Is that what you said, Subi?
I don't know what you're talking about, Stacks.
Oh, okay. Here's Domain. It'll be blocked by Relating Wave. The defense recovers for Discombobulators. They know they got away with one, but they also know they've got a 3-goal lead, and this series is rapidly approaching its conclusion. Virtuoso for Nachito. Nachito will play this across, and again, nobody there. You talk about sometimes in basketball, a coach will ask, how do you let the ball touch the ground so often? How does the ball just find open space this often coming off of Vertex's back wall?
And we just saw right there where Domain should have called out for Ryzex. He had a better angle on that ball, would have led to a lot harder shot put on net, but instead, a very weak, very inaccurate shot goes on the board. They just need to pipe up to each other.
Ryzex stopped again by the defense of Discombobulators. That shot wide on the near side, and again, Vertex are sent packing back to the orange zone. Popped up, this is dangerous. They are circling the wagons right now. Discombobulators, demo from Vert, but Ryzex is there to sweep this away and at least buy his teammates a brief reprieve, if nothing else.
What a dunk from Relating Wave to keep pressure on in the orange half, keep possession of the ball. Flying by on your screen there, and Virtuoso finds his 4th in game number 3.
He is 1 goal away from tying a rival series record. If he can add another goal, Nachito adding yet another assist, his 5th of the series. All told for Virtuoso, 7 goals in this series alone. Let's talk about a team that is able to pad their stats. My goodness, Vert looking for another. May have to settle for an assist. Relating Wave, drop the hammer down. It's going to be cleared away.
Oh my goodness. This team is starting to just get me really excited for this season, to just see what every team can bring to the table. My goodness, the skill level is just getting higher and higher every season that we've gone through the rival series. And man, Discombobulators are going to be a force to be reckoned with.
And Nachito will add another, and you can tell the wind has completely left the sails of Team Vertex as they fall behind 5-0. You saw Akari even stop there in the defensive zone. Just, oh, nobody's home. Go figure. It happened again.
And just putting tons of shots on the board. 10 shots for Discombobulators. Impressive that they're shooting 50% in this game. Their shot placement is incredible. Their rotations are fantastic. Their positioning, I can't speak good enough words about this Discombobulators team.
There have been a handful of players that have scored 5 goals in a rival series game. Flame, now in the RLCS with Veloce, one of them. Virtuoso, that's about the only drama left in this game to see if he will join that list. Nachito just wants to do it himself. Here comes Vert. No, it's going to be cleared by Ryzex. And it does not look like there will be any more names etched into the record book, at least in this match, as the ball will touch down, and Vertex happy to let it do so, because that means they are done getting just embarrassed by the Discombobulators, who did anything and everything they wanted to in that series.
That was a showcase.
Yeah.
That was them coming out and making a statement to the rest of the league saying, we may be rookies, we may have never gotten here before, but we're here and we're here to stay.
Yeah. Yes, they are. What did they outscore them? It was
a lot to a little.
Yeah, 14-3, the score in that series. If there was any question about whether or not the Discombobulators are legit, Subi, they answered it.
Yeah, they definitely are legit, and I love seeing this many goals on my cheat sheet here and that many assists to match up with them. Just a beautiful, beautiful sight to behold.
Well, coming up next, we have a clash between the old guard and the new guard. Rix Ronde and Burrito B have been in the rival series for 4 seasons now. Now they have Tadpole to help them try to get to the RLCS. They're up against Echo Zulu coming up next.
Your skin for so long. Oh, I am in your head, so tell me, is it wrong? Oh, you fell under my spell, so well, so well. Oh, you fell under my spell, so well, so well. You fell under my spell. My spell, my spell, my spell. You fell under my spell.
when they hurt. You wanna feel, wanna fall in love, wanna give it all up, but you don't want to lose your control.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the European Rocket League Rivals Series. My name is Lottie Van Prague, and I have had the pleasure of watching some incredible Rocket League action all this morning. We've just had our match number 3, and Discombobulators take on that winning streak even further by taking down Team Vertex. What an incredible finish, gentlemen, from that Discombobulators roster. I am so impressed with all 3 of these guys individually. They all brought something different to their team, and especially highlighting some of their goal scoring abilities in this match as well. I mean, I've got to give it to them. It felt like they were passing the kind of like flag, the little baton of who's going to score in each game, because, you know, Relating Wave really made some moves goal scoring. Virtuoso also decided to have a little bit of a run with his money as well. And then the Spanish god, Nachito, saving some crucial goals there and some mistakes that we were seeing as well. It just seemed to me like clockwork for this team.
Yeah, and the standout for me has to be Virtuoso. I mean, watching him from his first game against ARG, I was like, okay, this guy's the typical third man. He's going to be far away from his teammates. He's going to be doing something for his team, but he's not going to be getting involved offensively. And then coming in against Team Vertex and just putting on a showcase of offensive skills, it was so fun to watch him.
Yeah, it really was. And I thought he had, what, a minute and a half to get that 5th goal. I thought he could have scored 5 or even 6 in that last game. Look, this Discombobulators team, they got smoked in game 1 that they played earlier today. And since then, 6 straight wins. And look, none of those games were close.
No, they really won. I mean, it was just unparalleled to what we've seen so far. And Team Vertex, I just want to talk about how they were handling that pressure in the game. You know, you guys were actually talking in game about maybe what was going wrong for them. They weren't getting back in time. They weren't resetting properly as a team, and obviously that was really biting them in the middle of the series. They couldn't quite get themselves in the positions that they wanted to, and unfortunately that left a lot of open goals for Discombobulators, and that just boosts their confidence, and probably the heads were dropping slightly there for Team Vertex. What can they do going forward now?
They could start by defending a lot better. Let's face it, there were so many empty net goals that were scored in that series. They just have to remember that it doesn't matter how many goals you score. I mean, you also do have to score, which they didn't do a whole lot of in that series. But if you give up more than you end up scoring, then guess what? It ain't going to end well for you. So, you know, they need to make sure that they secure their own net first, then break out. And somebody has to take a chance and gamble a little bit. They have to come up and trust that a pass is going to get there to the center of the field, because there were so many opportunities to get that ball from the corner out to mid. Nobody was even there to receive it.
Yeah, for me, it's just they've got to tighten up in the offensive zone for sure to be able to get those challenges that Stax is talking about. They have to focus on rotating back to defense, because the multiple times we saw them rotating in the net wide open. And lastly, just communicate. Just talk to each other. Just say if you're going for the ball. That's a simple fix.
I would have loved to heard the Discombobulators comms, because I'm sure they were just popping off. It would have been awesome. And also after that series, I'm just going to side note this, because Splash is definitely my favorite goal explosion.
Yes.
Without a doubt, that is my favorite. And I'm definitely going to ask you, Subi, to do the whisper for me a little bit later on. But let's have a look at our next match coming up, because we have some exciting games to get through here as well. We also have our NA side later on as well. But our last match for Europe is going to be happening here, Echo Zulu versus Method. Really excited about seeing this Method roster together. Rixronde, Burrito B, obviously, as you mentioned, Stacks 4 seasons together strong, always replacing their third. Is Tadpole the third that they're looking for?
I think he is. I think that he adds a valuable veteran presence to their team. You look at the players that they've had join them in that third role. They've had Chacaron, who's retired now. They've had Casio, who's in the RLCS. They've had Ocelon, who we just saw earlier here in the Rival Series. Tadpole has that RLCS experience. He has a couple of Rival Series under his belt as well. I think he's going to be a great fit for Rixronde and Burrito B.
Yeah, well, I mean, you can't have a better player on your team than Tadpole. He comes from the Rival Series, goes into RLCS, and not only does he make RLCS, they get themselves to the World Championship and then do so well in it. Tadpole's the guy you want on your team if you're trying to make that final push to get to the promotion tournament.
And it's going to be a great environment as well, having Tadpole on your team, because, of course, you've got the family surrounding him that's oh so supportive. If they ever end up in a LAN environment, they will be fan favorites. And as we saw with, say, the Peeps at Montreal, having the crowd behind you, it helps a ton.
100%, and I think Tadpole is going to be wanting to bring this home, especially in this rival series. He wants to make this mark, and I think he's actually chosen a fantastic duo to do that. Rix Ronde, Burrito B. I'm really excited to see how these guys work together, because I think the longevity of being together for 4 seasons is a huge advantage here. You know each other's play styles well, the communications will be on point, and it's just having that third man to work into those as well. So I'm really excited to see this, and it's time for predictions. So, Subi, who are you going with?
This has got to be one of the easiest predictions of the day. I don't think there's anyone out there that's going to predict against Method. Maybe they will, but they'll probably be wrong. So for me, it's got to be Method.
I saw a look over there from Melody. She's got a perfect day going. I hope she doesn't mess this up. But now I've got Method as well. Again, just Rix Ronde, Burrito B. They've been around forever. They have had a slow start to a lot of their seasons. They started 1-3 last season. They have to show up here. This could set the tone. I think they take a huge win here.
Well, what can I say, Stacks? There is a method to my madness. So I'm also going to be going with Method for this game as well. Gentlemen, I'm super excited. Please take this away. I want to know the results.
All right. Well, hey, I can already tell you the result. Method 3-0, right? That's how things work around here?
Yeah,
Say it and
totally.
It happens?
Totally.
Right. Tadpole joins Method, who have been around. You talk about so often orgs, whether or not they're going to sign teams in the rival series. Method has stuck around with Rix Ronde and Burrito B for now 4 seasons. And Impact is just going to dribble this one away. It was a great opportunity for Method right out of the gates, but they are turned aside.
Yeah, and right from the get-go, the speed is on display from Method. They are so fast, so speedy to challenge every single ball. You're already seeing how difficult of a time Team Echo Zulu is having of clearing this ball out of their own zone.
Rix Ronde with Tadpole over in that general area, but he wasn't really in control of his car. Now Taz gonna get around the corner, but he had to go through Tadpole. Here's Matane. Echo Zulu team, they have shown that they can play with anybody in the world. They will play up to the level of anybody in front of them. Tadpole makes the save here. And a man who will be celebrating his 22nd birthday in a week or so, trying to get downfield, but is not able to.
Oh, that's a good pass out, and Impact just a little too wide on that shot. But again, another centered ball from Team Echo Zulu, starting to get warmed up, and a rare miss coming out from Method. This ball a little too high, and Matane gets the hit as Rix Ronde completely whiffs on the clear.
It is Impact to throw another one in, but nowhere near the target. And Burrito B will look for the new guy, Tadpole, but it's Matane able to make the stop. Impact with Matane running interference. Rix Ronde sidesteps him, makes the stop. He can start the counterattack back the other way, and that's well guided to the side by Taz, but nobody on the other side of it, and so Impact has to swipe it away. That was dangerous for Echo Zulu, who have not had a good day so far, and it will be Tadpole to again start another counterattack, but not a whole lot going on there.
Yeah, just bombed that one down the center of the field. Didn't have any teammates available to pass that ball to, and a good shot from Rix Ronde just off the crossbar. Can't find their mark in game number 1 is Method, but they're passing the ball beautifully in front of the net.
Impact now, no boost to play with, so this will be thrown back to the corner. Tadpole around the boards and Matane. Nothing there. Tadpole will circle back around. There's not a whole lot of passing going on in the early stages. Kind of dump and chase strategy. Throw the ball downfield and eventually go after it.
That was a good catch there from Matane. Keep that ball in the corner, and you see him trying to break out once again. We just passed halftime, still all tied up. I'm very impressed with Team Echo Zulu just withstanding the opening storm and surge coming out from Method.
They're a team that can be very frustrating to play against on the defensive end. because they stop everything. Thrown in front here, off the backboard, sent away by Burrito B.
Uh-oh.
Double commit could be costly for Echo Zulu. They have to rush back, rotating back on ball side, and Rix Ronde is not going to get that midfield boost. That's a huge break for Echo Zulu.
Burrito B had to stretch to get a touch on that ball, put him a little bit out of position. Tadpole, last in net, gets a touch and puts it right over Impact. Great touch from him, good field awareness to push this ball downfield.
There's an opportunity for Method that should have been a lot better than it turned out. We remain scoreless. Tadpole throwing another one downfield right at Impact. That is well read. And again, every time Method try to bomb the ball away, somebody from Echo Zulu is waiting at midfield. They have to change things up. Tadpole blocked by Matane. 50 seconds remain in game one. And another one sent out from the corner. Again, nobody to pass to. Rix Ronde will try the opposite.
Oh!
Play it for himself, and it's cleared away.
That was a beautiful double tap. Unfortunately, just a little too wide, and good pass down from Impact over to Taz, and just running out of boost. Can't get the touch. Tadpole, great recognition, but this ball is gonna be dangerous. Burrito B is gonna have to get back on defense and buy his team a little bit of time.
Tadpole, that is not maybe the touch he was looking for, but it found Burrito B. And now he has a full tank of boost to work with. Closing seconds, separating us from a scoreless overtime. Taz on target. Burrito B is there, and he gets the clear before getting blown up. And we will go to golden goal without anybody scoring.
Wow. Not what anyone was expecting, I'm sure, for game number one. Team Echo Zulu, you called it, Stacks, able to play up to whoever their opponents are. Method going to be one of the best teams this season in the rival series, but Tadpole pushes this ball forward, and again, Method unable to do anything in the offensive zone.
Rix Ronde and Burrito B in their 4 seasons in the rival series, they average about a 25% shooting percentage. That is going to go down when you play teams like Echo Zulu, that you've got to get creative to beat them. They're not going to make any silly mistakes and give up freebies. Here's Impact with Matane trying to run interference. I think he got a piece of Tadpole, but it did not take him out of the play.
Good pass.
Great pass and a block by Taz.
Good heads-up play from Taz. The defense is saving Echo Zulu's time and time again in this game one matchup, and a nice pinch from Rix Ronde to get that one out. But the center ball across the field, making Method scramble on defense.
North America saw a scoreless overtime go almost 7 minutes earlier this season. It is looking dangerously like we may approach that territory. But that demo may open things up for Echo Zulu. Out of the corner. Good pass looking for Matane, but too strong. And Matane and Taz almost collided there. Should still be a shot.
Triple commit.
It's going to be high, and Tadpole will get rid of this.
Oh, all 3 members of Echo Zulu up. Rix Ronde on target, and he finds the goal. Method squeak by in game number 1.
Watch this miss right there from Impact. Once he misses this, Rix Ronde can just do what he did all game, throw the ball at the net, and hope something good happens. Splash. Method takes game 1.
Whew, man. Team Echo Zulu had their opportunities, and in that last second before the goal, you saw all 3 members pushing forward, got a little overconfident in their abilities, and all it took was one little pop over the last defender, and that net was wide open.
Can you believe somebody once said that Echo Zulu doesn't make silly mistakes and give you any cheap goals? God, what a dummy. Sheesh. Hey, Echo Zulu, back to the drawing board. They've been frustrated so far this season. They had a narrow loss to Underwater Squad earlier. They are in dire straits right now. I mean, you start 0-3 with the lineup of teams we have, especially with Discombobulator starting 3-0. You just about kiss the promotion tournament or any chance of getting there goodbye. So they have to refocus here. This is as close to a must-win, I think, as you can get. early on in the season.
No, I agree. And a mistake is going to happen in a game, but when it's overtime, you have to play perfect Rocket League, especially against a team like Method. Their vision was on point. I was very impressed with their clears. 9 times out of 10, there were a few that were at the top of the box that were a little questionable, but more times than not, they're clearing that ball to where defenders weren't from Echo Zulu and doing a great job of pushing the ball downfield. So if you're Echo Zulu, you have to be cognizant of that and maybe keep one guy at midfield at all times just to be able to push that ball back into your offensive half.
Game number 2, we are underway with Method trying to take care of business in 5 minutes this time. I think that would be preferred for them. Burrito B gonna find Tadpole. He does. I think Tadpole was looking to find Burrito B coming off the wall there. He had no boost to follow that up. Burrito does stay in the zone, and Tadpole will stop at midfield and
Demo.
up it right back in. That demo could throw Echo Zulu for a loop, and it does.
Just good heads-up play coming out from Method. Tadpole gets a great touch, turns off the ball, and just goes for it. Puts the shot on target. 1-0 for Method early in game number 2.
And those are the really valuable demos coming out of the defensive zone. You're already on your rotations back. You got a guy up on the ground that far out of the net. You don't really have to go out of your way to chase him down. Method takes advantage of it. They get a very early goal and a very valuable goal to start things off. They have not allowed Echo Zulu to score in about 8 minutes of gameplay here. It is going to be Rick Ronde. That's Matane, and now Tadpole coming up again. Method getting very well acquainted with the Echo Zulu half of the field. Oz trying to do something about that. Impact chasing it down. Here comes Matane looking for their first goal of the series, and Burrito B says no.
They've got that back wall covered so good on defense. You'll always see Burrito B, Rick's Ronde, or Tadpole just ready to fly off of it and make a clutch save. But man, look at the speed from Rick's Ronde cutting off that pass. Method has numbers. Burrito B looking for the shot, not on target, but Method will contain this ball in the blue half.
After 3 full seasons, Method a record of 10-11 overall in series played. Trying to get to 500 and well on their way as they are all over the Echo Zulu half of the field. Matane should be able to get to this ball. No, Burrito B comes in from out of nowhere. Looking to drop one in front, and that is well defended by Echo Zulu, but they haven't got this out of the zone. Again, peppering the backboard, and finally Matane gets the second touch he needed, and another challenge there. They don't have a lot of boost to work with, but if anybody in this league can make a lot happen without much on their resource end, it is this Echo Zulu team.
Yeah, absolutely. They're doing a great job in defense to not panic. Haven't seen too many double commits come out from them, and they are not hesitant at all to challenge the ball, especially at the top of the box. But here comes Tadpole, a nice soft tap. A little too high, though, and no one to follow that shot. But Rick's Ronde doesn't miss a step to keep this ball in midfield.
Tadpole, I think he was trying to drop that down to his teammate off to the left, and instead Rick Ronde kept coming all the way back to the net. It has Echo Zulu set up, and Matane could not control that ball. And here comes Method again. Matane doing all he can to keep that out from in front of the net. And finally, Taz will get rid of this. But Echo Zulu, they have left themselves vulnerable, and they only have themselves to blame.
Good hit there from Burrito B up, and just look at all 3 members of Echo Zulu in the same corner. One thing I've noticed from Method is if they get a demo in that defensive half, it's causing chaos and confusion on the side of Echo Zulu. If they can go for those time after time, look at a shot on target. Matane's there, though, easily defended.
Would you say they are getting discombobulated in front of the net?
A little bit. When those demos come out, they do absolutely start to shake a little bit in their boots.
It is Burrito B. Tadpole going all the way back, and he will yield to Rick's Ronde. Again, Burrito B lets that one go, so Tadpole can chase it down. Does start to roll up the wall, and Matane collects it nicely, but he couldn't keep possession. Echo Zulu again in a spot of trouble, getting to the final minute of regulation. They haven't had a lot on the offensive end, and that is a laser beam from Tadpole.
Just rifles this ball on target. You're not going to be able to defend this. You see the sole defender in net have to pre-jump to try and read it, but the shot placement coming out from Tadpole, just beautiful, going backside, up high. Such a good shot from him.
In stark contrast to the previous series where we're talking about guys scoring 4, 5, 7 goals in the series. Tadpole's your leading scorer with 2, and now Matane gets Echo Zulu right back in it with a loud goal here.
And no time to waste whatsoever either. Just under a minute to go, down by 1 now at Team Echo Zulu, still in this match.
Final 50 seconds. And this will be thrown all the way downfield, and not anything happening for Echo Zulu there. That's going to get all the way across to the opposite corner, and Burrito B can collect this. Try to waste some time with 35 seconds. They didn't waste a lot of it. That will, though, as Burrito B on his way back is able to dump that even deeper into the corner. 24 seconds and counting. Impact needs to find a teammate. That was not a teammate, and Echo Zulu forced to defend again with time not on their side.
They've got one opportunity stack, so they have to get this ball out of their zone, and this is a good chance for them.
It is Impact, final 5 seconds, trying to brute force his way through, but some help comes in from Rick Ronde.
Uh-oh.
One last chance.
Uh-oh.
Will drop down. It is cleared away. Taz was waiting there. He is the safety net for Echo Zulu right now, and they still have to go the length of the field. They do keep this up. Impact got a little help keeping that in the air, but Tadpole should kill it, and he does.
Veteran play right there, recognizing where all of Echo Zulu was and puts that ball down safely to touch the dirt. Method come out once again on top, but Team Echo Zulu is not going to sleep easily. They're staying within 1 every single game.
Yeah, a scoreless overtime that goes 1-0 to Method. 2-1 here, nearly went to overtime there. Echo Zulu, they had their opportunities, but they need more chances too. I mean, that's what you're going to get, though, from Echo Zulu. You're going to get very low-scoring games, very frustrating games to play if you're on the other team. And you just have to persevere, and so far that's what Method has done.
It's almost like they're just holding on in the defensive end and just hoping for a chance to break out. They need to take control of their own destiny, and I want to see them push into the offensive half. They're battering those corners a little too much. I want to see them go towards midfield and open up their shots. Once they go midfield, the whole net's available to them. When you're in the corners, it's a very tough angle, very easy to defend. If you're at the midfield, center field, so easy to put shots on target because you can go left, you can go right, you can go high, you can go low. Doesn't really matter, but we haven't seen that from them yet in this series.
Burrito B yet to get involved in the scoring at all. No goals, no assists, but he has made his presence felt on the defensive end and at midfield. Method are going to rely on that, and they're going to want some extra offense from him as well. Game number 3 about to get underway, and it is must win for Echo Zulu. This whole series is must win. Salvage any number of games that you can if you're going to lose at the very least. Taz trying to go with the delayed flip coming from the ceiling, and that didn't have much of a chance. The whole defense from Method was waiting for it.
Yeah, Echo Zulu pulled the broom out of the closet for this match because their only hopes of winning this series is coming out with a reverse sweep. It's going to be very difficult against Method, and the shot coming out from Rick Ronde gets the double tap. A little bit of luck on his side, but either way, the ball goes in the net.
We've seen this so often in this series, the ball just going right across the top of the crossbar. And this time, Rick Ronde is home on the other side to just dunk it right into the corner. 1-0 the lead, and the clock is ticking now for Echo Zulu. It took them so long to finally score, and if they fall down by 2, it may be game over already. Here's Matane looking to pinch this all the way downfield. Try to beat the defense down there, but Rick Ronde able to get back in plenty of time.
Nice patient play there from Tadpole. Seeing Taz is going to come in with a weak hit, and look at him getting demos, opening things up, but Burrito B and Rix Ronde, nowhere to be found. Thankfully, they can keep pressure on the ball and keep the ball in the blue half.
That will go off the crossbar. And again, Method narrowly miss adding to their lead. Here's Impact, trying to play the slow game against Burrito B, who makes another great stop. Not credited with a save there, but he might as well have been. Now Taz, right at Burrito B. The quality of chances has to improve dramatically for Team Echo Zulu.
Oh, good read there from Impact. When that ball kisses the ceiling like that, it's sometimes difficult to get the handle on, and Matane coming in at the last second. And good clear there from Impact. He didn't have boost. All he could do was bomb it downfield, but it is going to allow Echo Zulu to have some semblance of offense here, but not for long. Method just doing so good at clearing this ball.
Final 3 minutes. And again, Echo Zulu doesn't have a lot going their way. Tadpole, challenged by Matane, challenged by Impact, but possession to Rix Ronde and Method again. Tadpole takes over, having stolen some boost out of the blue half. And it will be Rix Ronde to collect this with that all-important midfield boost. Up to the ceiling, got a lot of options. Here comes Tadpole, and he is met by the entire defense of Echo Zulu.
It's good to see Echo Zulu hasn't changed their game plan whatsoever. They're still being aggressive, still challenging the ball, not giving Method a ton of time with the ball alone. As I say that, Rix Ronde gets a one-on-one opportunity and gets the flick. Tadpole pushing this through the corner. Echo Zulu needs to start feeling a little bit of panic as we just kicked into the second half.
It is Taz to center for Impact. Taz turns on this, and he never had a chance. He had to go across the field with minimal boost. Matane will try here, and he almost dropped it in. But now Taz, this is what Echo Zulu needs. They need sustained pressure. Break down the Method defense, but a big save by Burrito B. Matane has to rush all the way back.
I love the idea there from Echo Zulu, working Method left to right, making them use a ton of boost to get to the ball, essentially boost starving them, and Impact can't quite get that ball far enough across net. Matane was there sharking, lurking, waiting to put that one on target.
The problem is they get these weak shots coming in from difficult angles. Somebody's sitting right in the center of the net for Method, and they can boom this downfield over the other attackers, and that kills the attack in its tracks. Here's Impact. Oh, he's gonna let that go for Taz. Taz now has Impact still waiting, and he's not gonna get a touch on the ball. Instead, it'll be thrown all the way across. Final minute. This is where Echo Zulu scored before, but not before they went down by 2 goals in the previous game.
Still plenty of time to work with. At least 3 opportunities to get into Method zone. But they need to start soon, and they need to start now, Stacks.
Start thinking about maybe pulling the goalie here. Down to 33 seconds, and a miss there. This led to the overtime winner in game 1. Echo Zulu gets away with it. 25 seconds. Again, more pressure high above the floor as well for Method. Finally thrown down to their end of the field. Impact has to win this ball. He does. It's in front, but it never gets down. Another clear by Tadpole. Last chance. All hands on deck for Echo Zulu, who desperately needs a goal to keep folks alive at all, and they may get it still, but that's going to be killed by Rix Ronde and Method. I don't know if you could say it was a clean sweep, but it was a sweep nonetheless. They won 3 grueling defensive battles, and they take down Echo Zulu.
And just look at the shots that they put on board, 11-3. Team Echo Zulu that's no way to win a match. You have to bring something to the offensive zone. You have to bring some sort of pressure and make Method feel a little uncomfortable, because in that match, they just looked like they were controlling the pace up and down the field, just unable to be stopped.
Well, a team that has not performed well at the start of seasons, going 2-4, I believe, in their first couple of matches in each season. Hey, they're looking pretty good now. 1-0, 3-0. They are perfect, Lottie is perfect on the day, 4 for 4. Wow.
Stacks, that is very, very sweet. And yes, I think my predictions have been pretty on par, so I'm happy with that. But, I mean, again, method, insane stuff from them. A really exciting first match of the series, though. I really like that no-goal overtime. Haven't seen that before, and I was really excited to see how these two teams were going to battle it out. And obviously, you have to be a little bit more careful with the golden goal situation. So it was interesting to see the tactics that were coming out from them, whether or not they were going to be aggressive, whether or not they were going to be more on the defensive side. I actually want to ask a quick question, a learning question for me, of course, as it's my first time on Rival Series. I want to know, what are you looking for the perfect rotation, for the perfect positioning in the field, and potentially those crucial demos as well? How do you create that perfect play as a team?
It honestly comes down to team synchronicity. I don't know if that's a real word, but synchronized.
It is a word.
It is
Oh,
now.
well, I just used it perfectly then. But no, you've got
to.
to.
You've used it perfectly. That's up for debate. But go ahead.
But no, I mean, it's all game dependent as well. You need to read your opponents, but the perfect rotations, essentially, you have to have someone challenging the ball at all times. You want someone around midfield and someone a little bit to the left or right to kind of create a triangle offense to keep sustained pressure, kind of like a whirlpool rotating through.
You are asking the wrong person about rotations. Anybody who's played with me can tell you. You're asking the wrong persons. But what I'm looking for teams is, how often do they double commit? Are they communicating clearly? And you can kind of tell if they're not communicating, if they're starting to get down in the series, the frustration starts to set in, and you start seeing double commits or even triple commits. And you start to see guys cut rotations with not a whole lot of boost to do so. You're looking for guys to come in on the back post, let the other guy go out and actually make a challenge. And the sooner you can do that, the better. And that's where great communication comes in.
Well, there you have it. That's it. I've learned something new for today. That is for sure. Gents, should we have a look at the standings as they are right now for Europe? Week number 1 here. And as you can see, right at the top of the board, in the number 1 position on this standings is Discombobulators. That 3-0, that wonderful scoreline that they have there as well. And Fadeaway coming in right there, tucking under there, 2-0. Looking pretty good. Baguette squad as well, decent score. Is there been anybody that you have particularly had your eye on that you think actually they've done really, really well so far?
Yeah, the Discombobulators. That is the dark horse for the season. I would have never pegged them to come out and be undefeated at this point. Just what a beautiful, beautiful showcase from going up against ARG and then coming into today with 2 matchups and just looking like a brand new team every single series that we're seeing them in.
Yeah, and they haven't exactly played cupcakes to start their season either. I mean, they've played a couple of teams that have that I thought were going to be very, very good in ARG and Baguette Squad, and they've taken care of business. Now they've got a few matches coming up in the next couple of weeks. You know, we'll learn a lot about this Discombobulators team. But hey, they play like they did today. That's a team that you start looking at. Hey, they get to 6 wins, they get to 7 wins. I mean, that's going to put you in the top 4. That's all you got to do.
You know, I was actually really impressed as well with the Echo Zulu defense. I thought, especially in that first game of the series, they were looking fantastic, really not letting Method run away with it or even play the game that they wanted to at the beginning there. What do you think Discombobulators will do against Echo Zulu and their defense? Because what we've seen so far from Discombobulators is that they have run away with their offense. They've kind of been allowed the room and the space to do whatever they really want on the field, just due to the mistakes that we have been seeing so far from teams. So that matchup there, would that interest you?
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be, unfortunately, I don't think it's going to be that interesting a matchup because Echo Zulu, I think they're a team that does rely on their rotations being intact. And Discombobulators, they play a very physical play style. They will go for bumps, they will go for demos, they will go deep into the net and chase people down to throw them off. I think that can really throw off a team like Echo Zulu, and Discombobulators, they can have a field day against Echo Zulu, and there aren't many teams that you could say that about in this season.
Well, and Discombobulators, they're so good at reading their opponents. Team Echo Zulu is almost like a linear team. Their defense is solid, yes, but they don't bring much to the offensive half, and I think that Discombobulators are going to recognize that. They're just going to be able to withstand that defensive storm, and eventually they're going to be able to pull one defender out and find that opening that we've seen them find in every single series that they've played so far.
That is very true. I'm very excited to see some of the next matchups we'll have in week number 2 for Europe. But as this show draws to a close, we have a new one coming over very soon. So let's take a look at our NA schedule that we're going to be seeing later on today. Match number 1 for you guys, we have Upper 90 eSports, RBG eSports. Then match 2, Bullsen take on Zookeepers. Match 3, we've got Upper 90 yet again versus Full Metal Gaming. And to round off our week number 1, we have RBG eSports versus Charlotte Phoenix. Exciting little change up there with Charlotte Phoenix coming on board. That name switch over, I believe it was Paradox before, so that'll be interesting to see how they take on that new name, whether or not they can be a new formidable team coming forward for NA as well. But on match number 1, Upper 90 versus RBG eSports, I'm really looking forward to see how RBG play. I've heard quite a lot about them coming forward here against Upper 90 eSports. Excited for this matchup?
I'm very excited. I love watching RBG play. They're a very dynamic team with Seabass, Aeon, and Rapid. And Rapid hit you up and said, hey, watch out, I'm bringing something new to the table. And, I mean, he's already shown us what a Rapid reset is. What more can he bring us?
Yeah, right. Look, this is the guy who said, yeah, I'm going to give you a Rapid reset on one of the matches. And he waited like 4 months to finally deliver a Rapid reset in a match that I'm casting. So take that for what it's worth. But I think RBG, they've got a good day ahead of them coming up later tonight, and I think that they can get off to a very strong start. But I don't think we've seen the best of Democrat in this Upper 90 team. I mean, obviously they are yet to get out of the blocks. They haven't won a game so far in their 2 matches, but they have had some pretty tough opposition at the start of the season. So this, I mean, it doesn't get any easier playing against this RBG team that might be the best in the league, but you play the games for a reason, and I think Democat's going to be pretty motivated to play, and we'll get into that a little later on in the day.
Indeed, I was going to say we will indeed. I want to know your final thoughts, please, gentlemen, on our EU portion of the show. Subi, I'm looking at you first. How did you think it went for week 1 for our teams?
I think it went according to plan. One thing that's always been true about the Rival Series is expect the unexpected, and that's exactly what we saw today. Who you peg to be number 1 isn't necessarily going to be number 1 at the end of the day, and that's kind of how it's playing out so far. You're seeing players that have been grinding for a long, long time, trying to make a name for themselves, and they're not wasting any time to do so.
Yeah, this Discombobulators team is a perfect example of a team that has earned an opportunity. They have grinded for a chance, and now they are making the most of that opportunity. You start off 3-0. I mean, it is hard to punt that away from here. I mean, they've obviously got some difficult games coming up, but really excited for the Discombobulators. Guys who they've been on the radar for a little while. Now they are getting their opportunity in front of a bigger audience to show what they can do. I hope they can run the table. I think that would be a great story all season long.
It would, and a storyline certainly is forming for them at the moment. Well, gentlemen, thank you so much for joining me for this EU portion of the show, and I'll see you a little bit later on. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much as well. But if you're not satisfied with the action you've seen so far and you fancy a little bit more, then our B stream is still going on at the moment, so please go and show them a little bit of love. Head over to twitch.tv/Rival Series eSports to go and take a look at all the games that are happening right now. But for now, we'll be back at 3 p.m. Pacific time for our NA portion of the show, where we watch all of our showdowns of all of the Rival Series matches. I'll see you very soon.